part of AEW, and I think like them going out and working with the Owen Hart Foundation is great. I don't have a problem with that at all. But I think having like an Owen Hart tournament, releasing Owen Hart figures, releasing Owen Hart t-shirts, I don't know. I mean, like, I know it's all coming from a good place and it's to celebrate him, but it's always just been a little uncomfortable. It's like, would he even like AEW? I mean, I don't know. I mean, I would imagine so. I mean, like, you know, I don't know why he wouldn't, but he's not here to make that decision himself. So, obviously, his widow making that decision for him. And so I kind of like the fact they're calling it the Owen Hart Foundation Tournament. It's only a little change. It's only a little thing, but it's a lot more palatable for me. So, yeah, I just thought I'd check that out there. So we've got that starting tonight. And it is going to be to honor Owen and the Owen Hart Foundation. And we've got the Bunny, who's going to be in action against a mystery person. And there's a lot of rumors as to who that mystery person is. I did check on my Tony Storm t-shirts. Not really. I didn't have it planned. I just saw that it was one that I had in my drawer, and I was like, well, that makes sense. So she is one of the options. My first thought was that it was Ember Moon. And then someone pointed out in the chat, they were like, could it be Mia Yim? Could it be Mia Yim? Because Mia Yim is someone that is obviously in a relationship with Keith Lee. Could it be Mia Yim that they're going to bring in because they've brought in Keith Lee? And that makes perfect sense to me. I think if you bring in Keith Lee, surely at some point the conversation comes round to Mia Yim. Like, it would be kind of a bit strange to not, because they're together. She's an active wrestler. She achieved quite a bit in NXT. She achieved a lot outside of NXT as well. She never made it to the main roster like Keith Lee did, but Keith Lee wasn't really on the main roster all that long, and he wasn't really used all that much. So I kind of feel like Mia Yim would be a good addition to the female roster. So, yeah, I'm leaning to Mia Yim. I'm going to lean to Mia Yim. I think that if you bring in Keith Lee, there's got to be a conversation at some point about Mia Yim. And I think at that point, like, you know, it's a done deal. I don't know, like, how much she's going to be getting paid or how much she's going to be used, you know, how much they wanted her. I just think that if you bring in Keith Lee, I think you've got to be prepared to have that conversation with him about Mia Yim. And it might even be that if you don't hire Mia Yim, you don't get Keith Lee. Who knows? That could have been a deal. Could have been, look, I'll sign for you, but if you're signing me, I need you to find a place for my wife or I don't know if they're married or not yet, but you need to find a place for my partner. Like, it could have come up during those talks. So I'm going to lean Mia Yim. I'm going to lean to Mia Yim on who it's going to be, but it could be Tony Storm, and it could be Ember Moon, and it could even be a Sarah Logan. So it could be a few different people. Let's blast down the card, shall we? And then we'll jump into the chat and say hello to a few people in the chat. So we've got Darby Allin versus Andrade El Idolo. We've got CM Punk against Max Caster. We've got Jay Lethal taking on Jon Moxley. We've got Danielson taking on Wheeler Yuta. I'm really looking forward to that one. Danielson against Wheeler Yuta, I think, will be a lot of fun. And, you know, it's going to be great to see Danielson and Moxley having singles matches, because in my mind, that means we get double scoops of Regal. And I'm always down for double scoops of Regal. So, Raspberry Regal. Get a couple of scoops of that. So, looking forward to seeing them matches. FTR taking on the Gunn Club. We've got the Owen Hart Women's Tournament Qualifier, the Bunny versus the new addition to the AEW roster. We've got the Elite Championship Celebration. I don't actually know what that is. Undisputed Elite Championship Celebration. So, I don't know what that is. But we've got that. And we've got Jericho Appreciation Society segment. So, They stole the belts, didn't they? That's what it is. I was just thinking, I was like, I swear Jurassic Express are still the tag champs. Hangman is still the AEW champ. So why are we having an elite championship celebration? And what belts have the elite won? But the Undisputed Era, or the Undisputed Elite, they stole the belts, didn't they? So they're having a little segment where they're going to, have fun with them and whatever. So, okay. Yeah, I mean, look, this looks all right. I like the mystery person. I like the Undisputed Elite little segment. We'll see what comes out of that. I like Danielson. I like Moxley against Jay Lethal. I like the Jericho Appreciation Society. CM Punk against Max Caster. Not really bothered. Darby Allin against Andrade. Not really bothered. I do like Darby Allin. I like Andrade, but Andrade is missing some. I think it's about that big, and it's called Zelina. So yeah, definitely need a little something there. The dude that he's with is just so annoying to me. I don't even know who he is. I don't know what his name is, but he's annoying. What's he called? Jose the assistant. He's annoying. Not as annoying as the dude that's with Penta. He's annoying as well. Where are these random people from? Who are these random people? I don't know. They're probably like wrestlers that I don't know, want to use but don't want to use in the ring. Maybe I haven't got a clue. But yeah, there's a couple of like hangers on that I'm not really feeling. They're kind of like the Brandon Cutlers. There's too many Brandon Cutlers around. Get rid of Brandon Cutler. He's annoying. Get rid of that Jose the assistant. He's annoying. Get rid of the that he properly does my head in, the one that's with Penta. The one that now looks like he's wearing a Halloween costume all year round. Get rid of it. He's annoying. FTR against Gunn Club is the other match. And as we said, that could be fun. I like FTR. And maybe we are getting closer towards Bret Hart coming in, because big rumors that Bret the Hitman Hart could be coming into AEW. So I don't think that'll be this week, but yeah, apparently we are getting closer. Days, it could also be Sarah Logan. Her husband, Eric Redbeards, that's not her husband, is also in AEW. Her husband's thingy, is it Eric, not Redbeard, but just Eric from the Viking Raiders. So her fella is still in WWE. Alex is awesome. What are you talking about? Who's Alex? Which one's he? Because if he's the one that's dressed up in like Halloween costumes all year round, he looks like a flipping idiot. I mean, I don't know if that's meant to be the point, or if he's meant to be like actually some kind of intimidating. I don't know. The one with Penta, not only would I fire him, I would actually have him put down. I would take him to the vets and have him put down. That's how much I don't like him. Vape Ross Vape says, hi, from your poll, who is best in ring? I like Ember Moon. Oh, who's the best in ring? That's hard. That's really hard. Because I feel that they all three can wrestle. All three can wrestle. All three were good on the indie scene. None of them got to show what they could do in WWE. Certainly not on the main roster. Ember Moon, did she have a little run with the NXT Championship? The women's one. Mia Yim didn't. I don't remember Mia Yim having it. Toni Storm had an NXT UK women's run, but I don't think it was all that long. And it was NXT UK, so who was watching? I would go. I'm leaning Mia Yim. I'm leaning to Mia Yim. She had a great match with Charlotte. I think that she is someone that can bring out. I remember having a really good street fight with Candice LeRae as well. I think that Ember Moon is maybe the most agile, the most athletic. She obviously can do the eclipse and do some moves off like the top, and she's got a bit of high flying about her. She's very agile. She'll do like the handstand against the springboard handstand, and she'll do like moves like that I don't think you're seeing from Toni Storm or Mia Yim. But that doesn't really bother me, to be honest. That kind of increase in agility doesn't lead to an increase in match enjoyment for me. So I totally get why people would pick Ember Moon, because I think that she has been very engaging. She's good in ring. She's pretty solid at putting a match together, as we said. She's probably the most agile of the three. Toni Storm is probably the one that I just haven't seen as much of, actually, compared to the other two, because the other two had good NXT runs. So, like, Mia Yim was in NXT for quite a while, and Ember Moon was in NXT for quite a while. Toni Storm, not so much. She was in NXT UK, so I'm basing it off NXT UK. And what I saw of her in NXT UK was very good. I mean, she had great matches with Rhea Ripley in NXT UK. And I think Kaylee Ray as well. She would be someone that I think is untapped potential. She is someone that we started to see glimpses of what she could do right towards the end, before she left, when she was feuding with Charlotte. So she was feuding with Charlotte Flair, and those matches were really quite good. And then, she got burnt out around Christmas time and, ran off to do, like, OnlyFans. But, so for me, I would go Mia Yim. But it's really flipping close. It's really close, because all three are solid in ring. There's no one there where you'd go, oh, yeah, well, they're rubbish, and you just dismiss them. None of those you would say that to. I think all three actually would really boost. You could bring all three in, and it would boost the AEW women's division. I mean, honestly, if you're faffing around with the likes of Anna Jay, and didn't we have, like, I don't know, Diamante or whatever she was called, and someone else, like, there's a lot of waffle in that AEW women's division. Like, you could bring in some good women, like, and these would probably be three of the best that are out there that are available, and you could probably chuck Sarah Logan in that conversation as well. So I don't know who's, like, no longer in Impact, or if there's anyone from, like, Stardom that you could go and get, but it does feel like the women's division could be quite easily upgraded. They did bring in Mercedes Martinez, which I thought was a good addition, but they haven't really been using her all that much. And the story they told was that she was kind of with the Britt Baker group, and then they kind of had a bit of a falling out, and now I don't know what she's doing. So maybe she'll be in this, like, tournament, this Owen Hart tournament thing. And I think Jamie Hayter could prove to be quite good. I'm kind of high on Jamie Hayter, so I think that was not a bad addition as well. So we'll see where we get to, but I think it's just great that they are bringing in a new female, because I do think that the tag division's on fire. They're fine for tag teams, and obviously massively boosted by the arrival of the Hardys. They're fine for the male roster. If they go and get Wyndham, I think that would be something that would really resonate with people. So that's one that they could probably do with getting over the line. But other than that, they're fine. Women's division, I think, is a focus. Anna, hello. Ember Moon, Asuka feud in NXT was fire. Best of the three, hands down. Ember was very misused on the main roster. I think they all were. Although, saying that, Toni Storm, was at least getting into kind of title matches. I don't know that she ever would have won that title, though. It'd be interesting to know what the plans were for Toni. But, yeah, very interesting. An interesting question as to which one was the best. Jim said, I would mark out hard if Bunny's opponent was Rosemary. Edward said, have you seen that Ronda has said that her and Charlotte are closing out night 1? So Vince must have changed the Kevin Owens show to a title match. What are your thoughts? I'm not fussed. I'm not fussed. I mean, for me personally, I think it should be Seth and Cody that closes night 1. I think that Cody coming in is going to be a massive moment. And I think that you want to pitch it as a massive moment. And I think that have Seth being in the main event of night 1, no one would roll their eyes at that. And having Cody come back and making it a massive deal, like Cody in the main event of WrestleMania, his first match back, like you're really telling the WWE universe this guy matters. For those that don't know Cody, you're saying this guy is a big deal. For those that do know Cody, which will be the vast majority, I'm talking about the kids in the crowd that might not watch AEW. Cody might not mean anything to them, They might have been watching since he left. And when he was last around, he was Stardust anyway. So to them, like, Cody Rhodes might not resonate. So I think it would be wrong to think that everyone is going to know who Cody Rhodes is, right? But the vast, vast, vast majority will. The vast majority are going to be older wrestling fans. When you look out at the crowd, you don't just see kids, do you? You see some kids, but the vast majority is adults. And I would say maybe some of them are parents that don't give a flip about wrestling and they've took their kids along. But, a good chunk are going to be people, adults that are, grown up with wrestling, and they will know. I really imagine that when he comes out, it's going to be a big pop. A really big pop. Kind of a Hardy Boys pop, a real big reaction. Vince might have a doubt, though. Vince doubted that people would know who AJ Styles was. And so, Vince, that's why he wasn't going to be on Raw the next night. So they did the Rumble appearance in 2016, and then the next night they weren't going to have him come out. They weren't going to have AJ on Raw. So because Vince didn't think anyone would know who he was. There's maybe a little bit of doubt that Vince feels the same about Cody, maybe. Because, he might have that doubt that, how many people are watching AEW compared to SmackDown, for example, and has the WWE fan base, do they know who Cody is? I think so. And I think you could put him in the main event straight away. And I think that you'd be sending a big message, this guy is a big deal. Like, we're going to treat him as a big deal. Certainly if you have him win, and I would have him win. I'd have him win that match. So Cody winning night 1 main event of WrestleMania makes a lot of sense to me, because then you're positioning him as a massive deal. Equally, Ronda main event in night 1 I think makes sense because it's Ronda, and her coming back, she's a massive star, and you want to present her as a massive star. I think for me it'd be between those two. I think the Stone Cold thing, it doesn't need to be a main event, because the Stone Cold one doesn't make any sense to me. I was listening to Jim Cornette, and he said, like, you would have to have Stone Cold as the main. You've got to have Stone Cold as the main event, and I disagree with that, because I don't think you do, and I don't think it makes any sense to have him as the main event, because it's not a match. First of all, it's not a match. It's just a segment, right? And it's a bit strange to have a Kevin Owens show segment close the show. So, like, I find it a bit weird that unless, like, it turns into a match and they ring the bell and we get a Stone Cold match, like, that comes out of the segment, because you could do that. If they do that, then fine. But if it's not going to be a match and it is literally a segment and it's just going to be a bit of a brawl, couple of minutes, That's not really good enough to be a closing night one closer to me. I know people will say, yeah, but Stone Cold's like the biggest star. How do you follow that? Well, Stone Cold came walking down to the ring at, was it WrestleMania 32? He came down to the ring and dished out stunners just like halfway during the show at WrestleMania 32, and we easily followed it. I mean, it was a nice little moment, but we easily followed it. It's not like the rest of the show. Everyone was talking about Stone Cold and we couldn't focus. Like, it wasn't a problem. He came down with, like, Mick Foley and Shawn Michaels, and didn't he hand out stunners to, like, the New Day and to the League of Nations? I think it was maybe even quite early in the show. And we followed that easily. So I would disagree. I think that you want a real good contest, a real good match. You want to put out a match that's going to be a show closer. And I think that Cody and Seth would be that match. But equally, I can understand you wanting to present Ronda as a massive star and having her close out night one. That would make sense as well. So it's difficult. I think there's a few that are vying for that position. But for me, it would be between those two. I would have either Ronda do it or I would have Cody do it. And then, like, there's no doubt as to what does it for night two, and that's obviously Brock and Roman. I think when it comes to WrestleMania, there is something in being the opening match. I think the opening match is a big deal. So I think if you get to be the opening match, then that's something. I also think if you're the match that kind of goes on just before the break at halftime, like, that's a big deal. I always think back to, like, Ric Flair and Macho Man at WrestleMania 8. They were on, like, halfway during the show, and that was for the WWE Championship. And that was back in, like, 1992. So I kind of think that if you're the first match on, that's an honor because you're starting the show. You're being given, the kind of the weight, if you will, of kicking the show off in the right vein. And I think that is an honor. And I think, wasn't it last year? It was like Drew versus, is it Bobby Lashley or someone that started off the show? So I kind of feel like that's a big honor. And then, like, halfway through the show, I think that's an honor because then you go into a bit of a break, which they tend to do, like, I don't know, a Hall of Fame segment or something. And then the matches after tend to be of, like, lower quality. And then we build up towards the second main event, if you will. So you could have Becky, Bianca open the show. You could have Ronda and Charlotte kind of close part one. And then you could have Cody, Seth close part two. Or you could do Cody, Seth close part one and Ronda, Charlotte close part two. And just chuck the Stone Cold thing in there somewhere. It's not a problem to follow it. I don't think it's a problem to follow that segment. So, I saw today Klopp is in talks with Liverpool over a new contract. Harley said, I hope what WWE do is Seth cuts a promo telling his opponent to come out. Shane comes out. There's massive boos. The match is about to start, and then Cody comes out to a big pop. Shane used as a fake out. Yeah, that'd be great. Do you know, there's rumors doing around that Shane is going to be the opponent, right? But I don't know where these rumors have started from because the reports that I've seen have been that, yes, they are looking to bring Shane in for WrestleMania, but we don't know if they're bringing him in just behind the scenes. We don't know if they're going to try and find him a match. I've not read anything that says they're thinking of having him be the opponent for Cody. I've not read that anywhere. Now, maybe it's out there. Maybe someone like Wrestle Talk or Cultaholic or someone has, like, actually written that. I've not read that. I think this is, at the moment, to me, people kind of, like, reach in a little bit. They're seeing that WWE want to bring Shane in for WrestleMania, and they know that Seth needs a mystery opponent, and they've kind of gone and done that and, like, put the two together. But I've not seen anything that's linked those two. So, as far as I know, it's still Seth and Cody. That's what I'm expecting. I said before, like it's for a long time now, months and months and months. It's been Seth Cody. We've just been waiting for them to announce it and for us to get there, and we've got to the point now where it's Seth versus mystery person. I wonder who it is. Like Seth Cody. And now we've got to that point, and all of a sudden now you've got people going, maybe it's Shane McMahon. Maybe it's The Fiend. So, well, no. Surely not. Because, like, all along, it's been Seth Cody. So, I'm still sticking with Cody. I've no reason to think it's anything or anyone different. So, I'm still sticking with that. But I agree with Harley. I think it would be great if you did a fake out. I think it would be great. Because, but you would need someone that would be willing to disappoint the crowd. Shane would. Shane would be happy to disappoint the crowd. He wouldn't have a problem doing that. Because, like, you know, Shane coming out. Shane could come out. Shane's music could hit. And Shane could come out, do his little dance on the entranceway. Here come the money. Shane could come out, and then Shane could be the one that goes, I'm not your opponent. This guy is. And then Shane actually does the announcement. And then Cody comes out. But everyone would think it was Shane, and that would be a great moment. King Savage said Brock Lesnar will win, and it makes a lot of sense because WWE is not going to give Roman more time. New eras are coming, says King Savage. Hasib said, don't you think Shane is the opponent considering the fact Vince kind of got involved? Vince got involved? I don't know what you mean. I mean, I don't know what that means. I mean, no, first of all, no, I don't think he's the opponent. I mean, just as I said, Seth Cody. And now for seemingly no reason, people are starting to go, maybe it's Shane. I mean, the only reason that people are thinking that is because there's reports that Shane's being brought in for WrestleMania. But again, we don't even know if it's a match. I mean, it could be that they've just reached out to Shane because they want to have him around for WrestleMania. He can be an ambassador. He can do some of the sign-ins. He can be part of some of the meet and greets. He can help produce some of the matches behind the scene. I mean, who knows how big that falling out was at Royal Rumble? Who knows, like, how much Shane and Vince fell out, you know, seemingly to the point where he was told to go. So this could be Vince's way of, like, reaching out the olive branch. I mean, because it's family, Vince could be under pressure from, like, Steph and Linda, Triple H even, maybe, to, like, you know, Vince, come on. Bring Shane back in. You've got to, kind of a thing. So it could be an olive branch after, like, you know, the falling out from Royal Rumble. But it doesn't say to me that he's going to have him facing Seth. The only reason that it would not be Cody would be if they've not been able to come to an agreement. I mean, look, if they've signed Cody, they're going to use Cody. So if let's just say it's not Cody against Seth, where do you put Cody then? What do you do with Cody then? If you've signed Cody and the reports are they have, then what do you do with Cody? I mean, where else do you put him? What else are you going to do with him? To me, all along, we've been told it's Seth Cody. So now that we've got to the point that it's Seth versus a mystery person, I've no reason to think it's not Cody. Until something comes out that says it's not, I don't have a reason to think that it's not. Channel name said Shane was never fired. He's Vince's son, so he's part owner of WWE. Daniel said Shane's not the opponent. People are trolling, saying, can you imagine them trolling and making it Shane instead of Cody? No one at all is reporting that he's facing Seth. Do you agree that Brock will become unified champion? I genuinely don't know. I want Roman. Because I still like the story of him being the tribal chief, head of the table, 550 odd days as champion. I don't think we're close to people being bored yet. I think some are, but as I said before, I don't even think we're 50-50. I think if you used to do a poll on Twitter and say, do you want Roman to still be champion, or are you still enjoying Roman as champion? I would imagine that the majority would still say yes, that they are still enjoying Roman being champion. So I don't even think we're at 50-50 on it yet. So for me, this championship reign has still got legs in it. You can still go further with it. There's still, you can still do Roman against Drew, for example. Now, I know people will be like, oh, I don't want to see that, right? Trust me, I'm in that boat. But you can still do that match. And actually, if Drew was in a credible feud, where he wasn't faffing around with, Madcap Moss and all this kind of stuff, and maybe wasn't faffing around with the swords, if he starts waving that sword around, I definitely don't want to be seeing Roman running away from, Drew swinging a sword around. I don't need to be seeing that, but I think the actual matches themselves could be really good. Drew's good in ring, and actually when we saw them face at Survivor Series the other year, it was really good. So I think that there's a feud, an easy feud that you can do there that will get you through to the summer. You can then find him a big opponent in the summer. I mean, maybe SummerSlam's the blow off for Roman and Drew, but without much effort, really, you can easily get by to the summer to the winter. And then you're building all the time towards the Rock match. I mean, Roman and Rock, which would be potentially next year's WrestleMania. And, the builds, you kind of need to get through to, say, Rumble time. If you can get back round to Rumble, then, Rock Roman is well in effect. So, and you've got a Drew feud you can get your teeth into. You might be able to do a little something between Roman and Gable Steveson. You might be able to do something between Roman and Bron Breakker at the end of the year. I think that you can easily get through. I mean, I just think that you've got an opportunity, maybe, I don't want to say the best opportunity, but one of the best opportunities ever to get to 1,000 days of title reign. And that is something I didn't think we would ever see again. I didn't think we would ever see 1,000 days. And maybe still we won't. I mean, he's only at, 550, 560, 570, around that kind of ballpark. So maybe we won't get there. But I feel like there's a chance you could. I feel like this Roman title reign is good enough, engaging enough. There's enough moving parts to it where you've got the wise man Paul Heyman that could get kidnapped. You've got the Usos that could, somehow be involved in a storyline. You still haven't done your biggest baby face on the SmackDown roster, who I would say is Drew, and your biggest heel in Roman. You still haven't done a feud between them two on SmackDown, which is a no-brainer. So you can do that feud. And The Rock is just round the corner, surely. So for me, and, on top of that, the cherry on top is I don't think Brock's the right person to end this, because Brock, to me, will be no bigger after WrestleMania than he is right now. Brock is as big as he will ever be. You can't make Brock any bigger than he is. So I think that there's not really much benefit to Brock winning. I don't think there's you would lose your opportunity to have 1,000-day title reign. I think that there's lots of opponents left for Drew, as we've said. Rock next year, Drew, lots of opponents for Roman. So I want Roman to stay champion. I don't know which way they go, though. I don't know which way they go. They could go either way. They could go with Roman. They could go with Brock. I can see arguments for both. I do just wonder how much Brock's around after Mania. I always wonder that, because we know that he likes to work his reduced schedule. So how much is he going to be around? So would he be a champion? If he's only going to do a show once in a while. Anna said, thoughts on the new trademark for the name Elton Prince? It sounds like a quintessential Vince name. Yeah, I did see that about Elton Prince, but I don't know. I don't really know much about like who it's going to be. I can't say that I heard it and I was like, "Oh my god, that's going to be the new name for such and such." Like, to be honest, it could be any of those new arrivals. I mean, they've just announced the new class. We actually read it out the other week. This nil class, next in line. It's what Triple H has been working on. So Triple H doesn't do NXT now. Now he looks after nil, which is next in line. That's where they go out and they do the tryouts. And they try to find the next big superstars. What they're trying to look for is they're trying to look for what Vince wants, which is the big guys. You know, your kind of American football players and boxers and people like this that have not like really succeeded in their fields. They're players that have kind of been cut from the NFL or have been cut from like have made it only so far in boxing or have only made it so far in kickboxing or whatever it might be. And so now they're, you know, looking for a new opportunity. But they're big and they're athletic and they're skilled and they're young. You know, this is what WWE are looking for. You know, if you're a big guy that's been doing sports and is athletic and you're young, WWE are interested in you. If you've got charisma especially and a great look, WWE will teach you the wrestling. And that's the whole point of Next in Line. I mean, honestly, that's all you need. That's all you need. If you are a big guy, 6 foot something, you've got a good size to you, certainly if you've been working out and you've got some good muscle mass as well, you've got some good bulk to you. If you've got a bit of charisma about yourself and you can talk, you know, you can cut a promo, you've got a good look, and as we said, you know, you're in your early 20s, hunt out Triple H, find him, go up to him and say, I'm the person you've been looking for. Yeah, because if you do that, he'll give you a trial. You can say to him, I've never done professional wrestling, but I'm a quick learner, but I can talk. Like, I love watching WWE. I've been a fan for years, and this is what I'm meant to do. Like, you know, if you was to find Triple H, you could be signed up easy. I don't even think it'd be that hard to get signed. The amount of people they sign, you know. The hard work would be once you're signed, you would have to then stand out from everyone else and all the other people that have got a similar look and can talk and all this, you know. I think that's when the real challenge would be. But anyway, that Elton Prince, it might be for one of those guys. It might be for one of those. We are starting to see that class being used. Unless, you know, they're going to change the name of someone, but I can't really think who they would change. They could probably change Butcher's name. That would be good, but I don't think Elton Prince really works for Pete Dunne. It feels like it might be a name for someone like a Velveteen Dream, but he obviously isn't with WWE anymore. So my guess would be it's a new guy. Elton Prince, I mean, I don't really mind it. I don't mind it because it strikes me as a name that could be used for like a Bad Bunny type character. If you've got someone that's got a bit of a, you know, one of the members of Hit Row could have been called Elton Prince. So I kind of think that the name itself is, it depends in what context. Elton Prince doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be a William Regal kind of character. You know, hello, I'm Elton Prince. Like, it doesn't necessarily mean that. It could have a bit of a street vibe to it, and it could be someone, you know, that would have been in Hit Row. I could definitely see one of those guys being called Elton Prince. You know, mainly because probably I'm thinking about two massive musicians in Elton John and Prince. And what you've done is you've taken Elton John, you've taken Prince, you've put them together, and you've got Elton Prince. And so maybe it plays on like more of a musical theme. So I don't know. We'll have to see. I'm not down on it. We'll see how it goes. It's better than Pete Dunne being called Butch. Edward said, I would make sense to have Roman win at Mania. He's never beaten Brock. Surely Roman wins. Surely we get The Rock at Mania. Thoughts? Well, I mean, I went through a list as to why I would like to see it be Roman. Him never beating Brock at WrestleMania, I think's interesting. Maybe they do give him that moment this year. I don't know. We'll have to see. I really don't know which way it goes. I can see an argument for both. I think that people are loving this version of Brock, and I think that someone's got to beat Roman eventually, and easily one of the most credible options would be Roman to do it. Would be Brock to do it, sorry. So I think that Brock being the one to beat Roman does make sense. He's legit. Is being built as one of the biggest stars they've got. But as I said, I've already gone through a list as to why I wouldn't go that way, but could be Brock. Right, I think I saw another super chat. Let me see if I can get to that. Lord French Fries, hello. If you could choose, who do you think would dethrone Roman, and would LA Knight be a good choice? Now, LA Knight is someone that feels a bit like The Miz to me. So, I can't name many great LA Knight matches. LA Knight is someone that can talk, but he doesn't really ever say anything that makes me go, wow, that's a good line. Like, he's confident, he's charismatic, his delivery is very good. But what does he ever say? Like, he comes out and he's like, let me talk to you. And, he starts going off. But I just find that it's a bit like MJF, where MJF's getting a bit better with coming out with some lines, right? But still, one of my criticisms of MJF is charismatic, can talk, great delivery. But where's the lines that kind of really stand out? Where's the lines that you go after, man, that was so good? When he said this, when he said that. It's all well and good having a great delivery system, yeah? It's all well and good owning FedEx, but if you ain't got any packages, tasty packages that you're sending, do you know what I mean? That's my criticism with those guys. I'm waiting for the line. I always feel like the guy out of the Acclaim that does the rap comes out with, his whole point is to come out with, kill shots. And he just comes out with, lines within a few minutes. And I find that he says a lot more in those couple, a minute or so when he's doing his, yo, listen. When he's doing that, he's coming out with more kind of juicy lines than MJF will in a whole promo. Or LA Knight will in a whole promo. And that would be my criticism of them. But it's a quick fix. Because if they can't think of those lines themselves, they can be fed them by writers. So it's a quick fix. The harder thing is to have that delivery. And LA Knight has got it. He's got a good look. But again, not seeing many great matches out of LA Knight. There's... for me, LA Knight feels like he's got the tools, but I just never see, I never see that promo. I never see the promo that makes me go, damn, and that's it. And that's the one. That's the one where he's got it. Or I never see the match that makes go, damn, that's it. There he is. He's just, I think he's a mid-carder. He's got all the skills. But unless you're going to actually use those skills to knock it out the park, for me, you're a mid-carder. He's over with the crowd because of his delivery, and they're presenting him as a big star. But I think once you get to that main roster, he's going to be the Miz. He's going to be the babyface Miz, which is no bad thing because the Miz has managed to get to the championships. But, I mean, he had one run. His second run, he held for a short time. Maybe LA Knight could do that, but to me, he's not the person that I would be picking. I think he's over with the crowd. I think that's obviously a big, thing, and I think people like him. I just think for his longevity, he's going to need to improve. And those would be the areas, basically. I think that if he's got saying promos, he's got to say something. He's got to have a few lines that stick in the head. And I think that when he's having his matches, he needs to have matches that you look forward to seeing. Because if his matches are just going to be so-so all the time and are just going to be fine, then people, I think, could get a bit bored. So you need to fix that in order for it to be him. I think he would need to fix those little things. But in fairness, they are little things. You know, the writers can give him the lines. And given some time, I think he could have great matches. I just think that just haven't seen it from him, or I haven't seen it from him yet. So I wouldn't say LA Knight. I would, if it was going to be anyone, I would be leaning to either Gunther, who has those matches, right? Doesn't have the talking, but I think Gunther with a manager to the moon, right? Literally to the moon. Gunther with a manager would be amazing. Certainly as well, if it was a manager we haven't seen before. If you brought in someone new that could be like Gunther's manager, like you could bring someone over from Austria that does the talking for him. That's, you can claim they're from Austria, but they're not really from Austria. But you could have them do the talking for him. I think Gunther could absolutely be someone. The only thing is Gunther's a heel, so beating Roman, you know, you might need a transitional champion. Bron Breakker could be that person. Gable Steveson could be that person. We haven't seen Steveson yet, so I can't really sit here and say, well, I wouldn't have it be LA Knight because his matches don't blow me out of the water and his promos just lack a bit of punch, and then say, well, it's going to be Gable Steveson. The only thing is, Steveson has got a better look, and I don't know about the other things. I don't know what he's like at wrestling, professional wrestling, because we haven't seen it. I don't know what he's like at promos because I haven't heard it. So we'll have to see once he's up and running. The one thing I think we can agree on, though, is that they're spending some money on Steveson. So Steveson's going to come in and he's going to be a big deal and he's going to be pushed. And honestly, if you've got that WWE machine behind you that's pushing you, you know, you're going to be written into big segments. You're going to be pushed in main events. You're going to be given those big moments. You're going to be hyped about on various, you know, social media platforms, YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, blah, 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 blah. That machine is a very, very powerful machine. If that machine is thrown behind you, then, you know, it could be anyone, really. Like they chucked that machine behind Jinder and got Jinder to the WWE Championship, so they can easily make it Gable Steveson. Someone that won an Olympic medal for wrestling, someone that's a two-time winner of the Dan Hodge Trophy, someone that's a NCAA champion, I think a couple of times. So he's coming in with some, I mean, Daniel Cormier said the other day that Gable Steveson would be the UFC heavyweight champion if he chose to go to the UFC. That's how good he is. That's how legit Gable Steveson is. Olympic gold medalist, Dan Hodge Trophy winner twice, NCAA winner. Cormier reckons, and you got to listen to Cormier because he is a former UFC light heavyweight and heavyweight champion. So, you know, Cormier's like one of the most decorated UFC fighters of all time. And he's looked at Steveson and said he'd be good enough to be UFC champion. So you've got to listen. So, yeah, I think that there's a few options. Knowing Vince, he would want it to be one of those bigger guys. So that's why I think, like, Gunther, Bron Breakker, Gable Steveson, they all need time. Like, you've got this wave that's coming. It's coming. It's just not here yet. By the time we get past next year's WrestleMania, we might be ready. But this is why I think we need to just wait a little longer, because next year's WrestleMania is against The Rock, and I love the idea that it's Rock versus Roman if Roman, if The Rock wins, he gets to end Roman's title reign. Like, that would be really good. I think that would be really interesting. If Roman wins, he beats a legend in arguably his biggest victory ever. If Rock wins, then he gets to become champion again as well. I think that's a story I would want to tell. And then once you get past that, well, you know, Stevenson will be ready because Stevenson would have had 12 months by then. Braun will be ready because Braun's surely coming up Raw after Mania. So he would have had 12 months. So you would have had 12 months of Braun, 12 months of Stevenson. I don't know where we are with Gunther. So I think at that point then you could go with one of those options, and I think those options would excite me a lot more. And either of them or any of them beating Roman makes them a bigger star. This is the point, isn't it? If Brock does it, he's not a bigger star after. Brock can't be any bigger than he is already. He's Brock. So it doesn't do anything for him, but it massively does something for Gable Steveson in the eyes of the WWE Universe. Massively does something for LA Knight if it was to go that way. Massively does something for Gunther. Massively does something for Bron Breakker. So I would be looking at one of those, definitely. But it's Vince that's going to have the decision, isn't it? It's Vince. So we'll see what Vince has got to say. What is the deal with Matt Cardona going to AEW? Apparently, any info or update? Not heard anything. He's been in there before. That wouldn't be new. He came in once he left WWE and did I remember him being in a tag match with Cody. But right now he's the NWA champion. So they could look to bring him in, but he's been available for a while, and either AEW wasn't that interested, or he wanted to go off and do other promotions and just like get onto the indie scene and do a bit of like other stuff. But for me, Matt Cardona's not a needle mover. He doesn't do anything coming into AEW. I don't think they need him. I think they've already got a pretty stacked roster, and Matt Cardona's going to get lost in the shuffle. I mean, you're not going to be pushing him over the likes of Danielson or Moxley or Jericho or Sammy or Darby Allin. Like, I don't. He would be an option, but he would be an option the same as how they've got about 50 options at the moment. So I don't think that would be a good move for him. I think right now he's a big fish in a small pond. If he goes to AEW, he'll be a little fish in a big pond again, just like he was in WWE. So I don't think that would be the right move. Lance said, I'm excited for Stevenson. He'll breathe some new life into WWE. I thought the Bunny's opponent could be Taya Valkyrie. That's true. Yeah, it could be Taya Valkyrie. Apparently Tessa is signed with WWE, but I don't know if it's true. Well, if it's come from Dave Meltzer or Sean Ross Sapp, then I would listen to it. If it's not, then I would ignore it. Because she is signed with Women of Wrestling at the moment. So she would probably have to leave that promotion to join WWE. Also, WWE have had opportunities to sign her, and they've not taken those opportunities. So I don't know if they would take the opportunity now. I mean, maybe there's been a bit of time. Maybe the dust has settled on those allegations, but they'll rear their head again if she goes to WWE or AEW. Social media will kick off again. So I mean, I doubt she has. I can't say that she completely hasn't, but I doubt that she has. But if it's coming from a Meltzer or Sean Ross Sapp, then I'd be more inclined to believe it. Shoggoth said, AEW doesn't need any more talent, and Cardona is basically the king of the indies at this point, so he doesn't need them either. Rajesh said, if Roman wins at WrestleMania, who beats him, and when does he lose? Yeah, so, I think we just covered that. Those would be the names I'd be looking at. Stevenson, Breakker, Gunther, one of those. You could probably add other names in, but I would probably go one of those. Maybe even Cody. I mean, Cody could do it. I mean, Cody could do with a bit of a push, couldn't he? A bit of a boost. Cody coming in and beating Roman, I think would be really cool. Because Cody never got to be champion in WWE. And I would imagine if they've managed to sign him, it's probably something that's been discussed. Like, can I get a run with one of the main belts? I would imagine that is something that was during negotiations. And I should imagine that he's not coming cheap either. I can't imagine that contract is, I'd imagine that it's quite juicy. So they're spending money on him. And if you're spending a lot of money on someone, you're going to want your money's worth. So, listen, I think there's every chance Cody becomes champion. Every chance. So maybe Cody is the one. Maybe Cody is the one that ends Roman's run. So when it happens, I really don't know. I would like for it to get to 1,000 days. I know there's people out there that are tired of it and don't want it to go any longer, but I would like it to reach 1,000. But I honestly don't know what Vince is thinking. I don't even know if Vince knows what Vince is thinking. I mean, it might end at WrestleMania with Brock. It very realistically could end at WrestleMania with Brock. So we'll have to wait and see. It's a shame that Cena retired. I could have seen him being a major feud with LA Knight because Knight will go the main roster. Yeah, Knight will go the main roster, and I agree with that. I think him and Cena would have been an excellent feud. And actually, I think Cena tends to have good matches as well. And that feud with LA Knight would have worked wonders, actually. I think that's a really good shout. I think those two could have had some really, really good matches. I would like to see LA Knight, and I mean, first of all, I would like to see LA Knight on the main roster. I'm not don't get it twisted. I'm not an LA Knight hater at all. Like, I think he does bring something that they need, which is charisma. I think that there's a lot of superstars on that main roster that, maybe aren't the most charismatic, but he has got charisma. He knows how to work a crowd. He knows how to get over. He's got over in pretty much every promotion he's been in. So he brings a lot. My question just is, how far does he go? I don't see him being the next John Cena or the next Roman Reigns. I don't see him being that guy. I could probably see him at best being a bit like Seth, which is where you kind of still used in main events, but, you go quite a while without the belt. You're not like one of the people that has the belt. You're not. It'd be rude to call like Seth a mid-carder. You're a main event talent that's used in main events, but just not used in main events that often. You're kind of like, I suppose Seth in many ways is kind of like a Mr. Perfect, Jake the Snake type kind of character. But I suppose a bit above them because he has had the belt. Although saying that, in this day and age, if you had Mr. Perfect, I'm pretty sure he would have got the belt at some point. And I'm sure Jake would have got the belt at some point. They didn't get the belt because they were having to battle with Hulkamania. And no one was getting the belt off Hogan in flipping the 80s. So Hulkamania kind of, they were lost in the shadow, unfortunately. At least now there's 2 belts, which means that, it gives someone else an opportunity to carry it. So maybe LA Knight could get a little run with the other title at some point. But yeah, I think a feud with Cena would have been great. Let's go over to AEW then. CM Punk in the ring. Listen. Hulkamania is the strongest force in the universe. It was. You're absolutely right. I mean, think of the people that were never champion because of Hulkamania. Listen. So straight away comes out and obviously references Will Smith. Right. So we are starting with Punk against Caster. The Acclaimed. I like the Acclaimed. Listen. Kicking off with CM Punk. AEW always comes out swinging, but the second hour suffers. WWE will be back in Saudi Arabia on Saturday, September 24th for TLC, says Adam. Right. We are up and running, and obviously we're going to find out tonight who is the mystery lady. Oh. Looking forward to that, actually. So, opening the show with CM Punk. CM Punk in trunks. Was Punk already in? I didn't see Punk come out, actually. Unfortunately, when you watch on Fight, it doesn't, automatically start sometimes. You have to, press the play button. So I didn't see Punk coming out. I'm guessing he got an entrance. It'd be a bit weird for him to not get an entrance. CM Punk chance coming up next. We got Jay Lethal against Jon Moxley. That's going to be the next match coming up. Thoughts on MJF's Ariel Helwani interview? Shoot, work. I've seen a bit of it. I think it's a work. I think it's a work. I think that he went on and, made it look like he was shooting. But I don't believe that he would have gone on and said some of that stuff without checking with Tony first. And obviously reports have come out that Tony is upset about it, but it'd be nothing for them to have had a conversation beforehand and said, look, I'm going to go on. I'm going on Ariel Helwani, and I want to say some stuff because I want to get a bit of buzz. And they just have a bit of a, get on the same page. He says some stuff, and then it's nothing for them to just leak out that Tony was upset. What did Tony? Because all of the dirt sheets would have asked the question, what did Tony think about MJ? Yeah, he was upset. He was upset about it. Apparently, he had words with MJF. I'm sure one day we'll find out, but for me, I thought it was a work. Shoulder tackle by CM Punk. I will never be late for an AEW stream. Hello, everyone. Wheeler Yuta is a great wrestler, says Minty. Ledge Killer, hello. Hope you are well. J. Brock said, I'm not sold on the gimmick, but Max Caster has the look of a future star. Caster's got scissors on his ring gear, and I don't know why. I don't know what that's in reference to. Why has he got... Does anyone know why he's got scissors on his ring gear? I understand the yos, but I don't understand the scissors. I would be tempted to change his ring gear, to be honest. I don't really get it. Into the corner. I don't mind the pink. I think that makes him stand out. Do you think Wardlow will be in the crowd, or will Tony Khan bring him out and officially make him All Elite by signing him to a contract? I don't know how they'll do it. He's under an AEW contract. I think it's... I don't know. It's not a story that I'm really that bothered by, because he's under an AEW contract, so in storyline they're trying to make out he's actually signed with MJF, so they'll get him signed to a contract somehow. How they go about doing it, I'm not sure. But in storyline, they'll get him signed to an AEW contract, and then you'll get that moment where, MJF's face realizes, oh my God, I don't control him anymore. Right, we've got both guys down at the moment. Bit of blood on the elbow of CM Punk. He was just having a little look at it. He's got a boo-boo. He's got a boo-boo. in the corner. Knee strike by CM Punk. Kick to the midsection by Caster. He's trying to pick up CM Punk in a small package, but no joy. Your new Caster likes scissoring. Oh, fair play. Fair play. He loves arts and crafts. That's what he loves. His other pants have got sticky tape on them. And anything he can use for arts and crafts, basically. He used to be known as Craftscaster. Chop by CM Punk. Chop again as Caster's over in the corner. They're saying this is an infamously bad crowd. CM Punk doesn't have it anymore, says Anthony. It's because he cuts through the competition. Is that what it is? Running Bulldog by CM Punk. Kick out by Caster. WWE Premium live event in the UK on Saturday, September 3rd in Cardiff, Wales. He's a Beefcake fan. Aren't we all? Aren't we all? CM Punk is hanging on that top rope. Why doesn't he get off? I think he could have got off that. He just kind of like got stuck there for some reason, for a moment. Caster going over to the corner. Caster going up top. Elbow drop. As CM Punk moves out the way. Caster back up to his feet. Kick to the midsection. Looking for a pile driver. It's a bit botchy. Chemistry's not quite right in this match. There's definitely, and there's the tap. There's a couple of moments in that match that was a bit... Cena isn't retired. The news is retired is fake, says Edwards. I can see Punk turning heel at Double or Nothing, says channel name. CM Punk wins. CM Punk does win, and we are underway with... We are underway with AEW. Right, here's Tony then. Tony is in the ring. Let's see what Tony's got to say. Anaconda Vice winning it for CM Punk. Got to ask you. You made the gesture for the title belt. South Carolina. So, CM Punk gesturing that he wants the title. Okay. I don't know who the champion will be in a week's time. So he says that it could be Adam Cole, it could be Hangman Page. I think we're going to get an epic Will Smith thing at WrestleMania. Lauren said, I'm Canadian, and on Sunday, we beat Jamaica 4-0 to qualify. I'm excited and proud. What are your thoughts on Canada qualifying? I'm really pleased. I'm really pleased. I think, didn't they say it's been about 30 years since they've been to a World Cup? About that. So it's great. It's great for the people of Canada. Hopefully it'll boost the interest in the sport in that area. I think that you've got a couple of great players as well. That could mean that you might get a result somewhere at the World Cup. Depends. I mean, we'll find out the groups on Friday. I don't expect you to get out the group, but it would depend who's in your group, to be honest. I mean, it's hard to say you're not going to get out the group until we see who's in your group, but I would feel that Canada might be one of those teams that kind of doesn't get out the group stages, but it doesn't matter. I said before, I honestly think the worst pain is not qualifying at all. Not qualifying at all is worse, because now you've got 8 months of excitement. Like, you can look forward to finding out the groups on Friday. You can look forward to, like, as you get close to the time, who's going to be in the squads. You can look forward to, like, picking your dream team, who's going to start. You can look forward to, you know, potentially you might get the wins you could get through. I'm not saying you're not going to. I'm just saying I think it'd probably be expected that Canada, who haven't made it there for 30 years, don't get out of the group. But you got a couple of good players, man, that could, you know, who knows? It's exciting. It's good. I'm really pleased to see Canada there. I'm really pleased to see the USA are pretty much there as well. That's great for our community. I mean, Canada, USA, England, all being in the World Cup. It's great. Really, really great. So I wish you all the best. Unless you're in England's group. Imagine if you are in England's group. Oh, my God. Imagine if USA get put in England's group. We've got MJF backstage with FTR. FTR are showing unity with MJF, but they're struggling with it. This person is banned from attending any or all AEW events. So they've got Wardlow banned. Who's got him banned? Why would Tony have him banned? Here's Jay Lethal. Lethal taking on Moxley. Days would love USA England. Yeah. Yeah, I would. The only downside is that I would love USA and Canada to get through their groups. And if one of them's in the same group as England, then those would be the two teams I'd want to go through. And I just think that that's going to be hard. That's going to be really hard for both of those teams to get through the group if they're in the same group. Moxley on his way out. Moxley is Regal-less. I want a double scoop of Regal. So Moxley's made his way out. He's walking through the crowds. He's got his Blackpool Combat Club top on, which is cool. It's cool. I'm not a big Moxley fan, but there's a sign in the crowd that says Will Smith for Blackpool Combat Club. I like, Blackpool Combat Club. I think it's a good name. It's a good name. It's a credible group. I'm into it. I'm really into it. I'm thinking USA Canada will be in the same pot, so they can't get drawn together. That's been revealed, actually, who's in what pot. England are in one of the seeds, so England are one of the top teams. I mean, we'll have a look another day. I was going to see if I could quickly find it, but yeah, they could be in the same pot. It's a little bit confusing because not everyone's qualified, so it's a little bit tricky to know who's where. We'll get a much better idea, obviously, after the draw's done. But I just hope that they get a great group. I hope they're not in the same group. You're probably right. They'll probably be in the same pot, so they avoid each other. But yeah, I hope we get a great group. Joshua, hello. Hope you are well. Said, I got an extra ticket to Battle of the Belts. Will you fly to Texas and be my guest? I appreciate the offer, bud, but I don't think that's on the agenda. But I hope you have a great time. And, I mean, we will be streaming it, of course. And, yeah, I mean, it should be good. Those shows tend to be, I think it's Battle of the Belts, like one of the TV special ones. I think it is, isn't it? That's not like one of their pay-per-view ones. So, in many ways, it doesn't matter. Because even those ones, they stack them like pay-per-views. So, if it is a pay-per-view, great. If it's not, it's basically going to be anyway. So, and Texas will be a great crowd as well. So, hope you have a great time, dude. Hope you have a great time. But I think Texas is it's a little bit too far for me. Now, if you'd have said Telford, well, then we were talking. Then we were talking, bud. But I hope you have fun. New York State of Mind said, will you watch Briscoe's FTR on Friday? No. We've got SmackDown and then Hall of Fame. So if there was going to be an opportunity to do that, then I would have been open to it. Like if there was a way of like doing I don't actually know when it's on. I don't know when it's on, but I mean, Undertaker going into Hall of Fame. It's a shame that that's clashing. Because I would have watched that Ring of Honor show. I've had a few people asking about it. But no, sadly, SmackDown and Hall of Fame is where our attention will be. They should have gone early. I suppose you can't, can you? Because people might have been at work. They should have gone early on Sunday. That's what they should have done. Why didn't they do it like daytime Sunday? Because daytime Saturday is NXT and then WrestleMania on the night. Daytime Sunday could have been Ring of Honor and then you had WrestleMania on the night and then we could have watched it all. Jay Lethal with a suicide dive collides into Moxley. Picture in picture. Who do you think will wrestle against the Bunny? Well, we've had 545 votes, and I can tell you that 48% of people have gone with Tony Storm. And I don't know if that's just because I'm sporting this Tony Storm shirt that I've kind of influenced the poll, maybe. I don't know. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say that's exactly what's happened. But, yeah, 48% of people have gone Tony Storm, which I must admit is a bit of a surprise to me because the first name I wrote down, because I asked this on Twitter as well, and the first name I put down was Mia Yim because that's who I think it's going to be. The other name I put down was Ember Moon because that was the first person that I thought. As soon as I saw it, first name I thought was Ember Moon. So that was my first reaction. Then someone said, what about Mia Yim? And I was like, damn, that actually makes a lot of sense because of Keith Lee. And I just needed a third name. And I was like, shall I go Tony Storm or Sarah Logan? And I was like, I'll go Tony Storm. And now Tony Storm is like nearly 50% of what people are choosing. So, yeah. Not who I'm expecting. But apparently, there are reports that they want to bring Tony Storm in at some point. So it's not the craziest thing in the world. It's not the craziest thing in the world at all. Channel name said, I bet Supercard of Honor will be better than SmackDown. Robert says, be funny. Robert, shout out to you. That is a sick shirt, says Minty. I've got 5 screens, and even that's not going to be enough to watch everything on Friday night. Or I like the Blackpool Combat Club and Regal, but the UKian of the group get wrestlers from that area, says Larry. What, you think they should be UK wrestlers? I don't know. I mean, I can see that argument. But I think like Blackpool Combat Club, it's to do with Regal, isn't it? I mean, it's to honor Regal. It's a combat club that is based in Blackpool because Regal's running the show, basically. You could have called it Regal's Combat Club, but they went with Blackpool instead. I suppose, in a way, it makes sense, because if Regal was to ever leave, you know, Blackpool Combat Club can live on, instead of if you called it Regal's Combat Club, and if Regal, like, you know, leaves, then, you know, that would be a bit awkward, wouldn't it? So it makes sense to go with Blackpool Combat Club. Yeah, I don't mind that. It's a bit, I suppose, in a way, it's a bit like American Top Team with MMA, and, you know, them training anyone that wants to go along, even if you're not American. You can go and get training at American Top Team. So, I don't mind it. I can get your point. I can definitely see the point. But I wouldn't hate Wheeler Yuta coming into that team. And I said maybe a Go-Go, who is British. He is English. He could maybe go into that little faction. I say little faction. Oh, it is at the moment. It's more a tag team, really, right now. It's not really a faction till there's 3 competitors, and Regal ain't really counting, is he? Because he ain't going to be in ring. Moxley going for a clothesline. Against the ropes goes Jay Lethal. Massive clothesline by Moxley, and Jay Lethal is spun upside down. Planting seeds of division between MJF and FTR. FTR are going to become tweeners and then full baby faces when Bret Hart comes to manage FTR. Do you think Bret comes? I'm going to say yes, because I remember CM Punk teasing a few things when he first arrived, and one of the things that he teased was Bret Hart. And we know that Bret Hart's got a good relationship with him. I mean, they're doing the Owen Hart Foundation thing, which probably has got nothing to do with Bret, but I'm sure, you know, that's something Bret would appreciate seeing. He unveiled the AEW Championship when it was first revealed as well. So he's actually been in AEW before. So it's not like out of the realms of fantasy. Like, he's been in AEW. He's unveiled the championship. So, yeah, I think there's enough smoke to make me think he's going to come in. And I think them losing Tully as well is significant. Looking for the paradigm shift. Forearm strike by Moxley. Mox going for double underhooks. Lethal goes down. Moxley sells his leg injury. Against the ropes goes Lethal. He gets caught. Drops down. Lethal rolls over to kick out by Moxley. That was close. Super kick there by Lethal. Enziguri by Lethal. It was kind of a suplex more than a brain buster, I think. But here we go. Lethal up top. Elbow. 1, 2. Oh, that was close. Damn, that was close. Jay Lethal gets a 2, but super close to a 3. Not bad action here. I mean, for a flipping weekly TV match, it's very good. Very good. Right, we've got Lethal having a word with referee. Almost quarter of a way through a show at the moment. Almost at the half-hour mark. Nice little inside cradle by Moxley. Oh, good. I'm glad he didn't win it that way. That would have sucked. Ah, boom. Paradigm shift. And there we go. Moxley wins. This was a great match, says James. You should pack some tonight, John. Austin, hello. Scotland have got Adams, McGregor, Tierney, McTominay, Robertson, Fraser, Gilmore. We're a better team than Wales, says Edwards. For the World Cup to be perfect for the community, is Scotland to qualify? I think we've got... I know that Mouldy is Welsh. So I think we've got some Welsh as well. So it's a shame. I mean, for it to be perfect, Wales and Scotland would qualify. Wales, Scotland, Canada, USA, England, all of them would get through. But it's not going to be that way, is it? It's going to have to be one or the other. Right, great match, says AEW's Italy section. Hello. Bale is better than all the players put together. One free kick is all he needs, says David. John said, because of WrestleMania, I won't be in school for 4 days. Lethal to the Blackpool Combat Club, says Minty. Oh, hello. Hello, Marina Shafir. Little video package for Marina Shafir there, which is good. Marina Shafir is very interesting being in AEW because obviously she's the wife of Roderick Strong. If Strong comes in, you got to think he'd go into that undisputed elite. FTR and Gun Club. FTR against Gun Club coming up next. I don't want Lethal in Blackpool Combat Club. I just want him to get a push. He's honestly one of their best performers. Okay, here we go. FTR versus the Gun Club. Oh, hello. No F. No F. Get the F out. There we go. Maybe it's Marina versus Bunny. Don't think so. Just because they've just shown a video package of her, I don't think they would have shown that if she was going to be the person. It's going to be interesting. I'm really looking forward to finding out who it's going to be. Lance said, is Moxley seriously always hurt, or is that part of his gimmick? I think it's just part of the gimmick. I don't think he's always hurt. I think there he was pretending to sell an injury during the match. I don't think he's always hurt. Lethal has signed a jobber's contract, said Zoom Station. We are at commercial break. Yep, we are at commercial break. Austin said Corbin's going to get an upset win at WrestleMania. I am just warning the Football Days community that England will be reaching the final of the World Cup, so me, Days, James will have no voices left by Christmas. That's what I'm going to ask for. For Christmas, I'll ask Santa right now. I want England to win the World Cup. That's what I want for Christmas. That's all I want for Christmas. I don't want nothing else. I want England to win the World Cup. That'll be one of the biggest moments of my life if that happens. With all respect to Marina, she is not one of the big names in women's wrestling, says Sean. Drew, Sheamus, Ridge, Dunn, if they left or were released, would make an awesome Blackpool Combat Club. Maybe Athena. They are usually on Twitch during AEW. What, Ember Moon? Is what, normally on Twitch, and she's not on Twitch tonight. I hate how Lethal is being used. The dude is overlooked, says PJ. Why does Marina come out to sleepy time music? It's like a sad opera combined with another sad opera. Well, I like it then. I've not heard it, but if it's going to be something a bit different, my God, I would love for someone to come out to sad opera. Do you know what? Opera is not used enough in entrance music. I think we can all agree with that. There needs to be justice for opera. That's what we need. We need a hashtag. Justice for opera. Wrestle with Andy said, have you seen Becky's new haircut? Is that why they did the hair thing? Because she went to Vince and said, look, I want to have a haircut. And he's like, God damn. We can use that as an angle. And so that's why they did the thing. I haven't seen it. No, I'm never really on Instagram, to be honest. I'll have a little look now. Becky Lynch. Na 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 na. She looks like Gigi Dolan. She looks like a punk rocker, Gigi. She looks like the girl out of Paramore. What's her name? Haley, someone. Getting that vibe. She looks like Hayley Williams. That's what she looks like. Hayley Williams. If I could even think of a Paramore song, I'd start singing it, but I can't think of one. Misery Business. That was a Paramore song, but I don't know how it goes. More. Yes, like Gigi Dolan meets Hayley. I think her name's Hayley Williams. I don't know. Well, there we go. She looks lovely. Certainly no shade. Right, here comes Mjuff going on to commentary. Imagine Hangman turns heel and aligns himself with the Gunn Club. Right, we got Orbs. Orbs is the ref for this one. Okay. I like the shag and bangs on Becky. I have the same hairdo, except mine is brown. Shag and bangs. If me and Heather become a hip-hop duo, that will be our name. I'm going to be Bangs. Shag and Bangs. Well, we like to do dance hall reggae covers. That, you know, I can see us doing things like a 2022 remastering of Who Let the Dogs Out. I kind of feel like that would be performed by Shag and Bangs. Who Let the Dogs Out in 2022. Maybe we could do a remix of It Wasn't Me as well by Shaggy. That strikes me as being Shag and Bangs. That's the kind of thing Shag and Bangs will do. Oh, why can't I be in a musical group called Shag and Bangs? That's what I'm thinking right now. Instead, I'm just sat here watching wrestling. Can we not talk about soccer on a wrestling stream, said Rockstar Anch 2. Come on, guys. Sun City said WWE belts look like toys. AAA belts are actual championships. It's happening, Heather. It's happening. Richard said, I'm from Wales. I'm a big AEW fan, and Thunder Rosa is my favorite wrestler. And I think it will be Tessa that faces the Bunny tonight. I would be surprised if it was Tessa, just because of those kind of allegations that were against her. There seemed to be a bit of a backlash online with her as a result. If true, rightfully so. I think Tony is very switched on with social media. I think Vince wouldn't know how to switch it on if he tried, but I think Tony does. I think Tony's very aware. So, I don't know, maybe he's like, you know, spoke to her and she's reassured him that there's nothing in it, or it wasn't true, or I don't know. I don't think Tony's the kind of person that would think to himself, oh, they will have forgotten by now. Like, I think PR is quite important to him. I don't know. I will be surprised if it's Tessa. And I'll be interested to see what the fallout would be if it was Tessa as well. Billy Gunn is getting involved. He just wallops Cash Wheeler. The Fiend is going to return and be the mystery. Yeah, guys, it's the Fiend. So Wyndham's going to come back as Fiendette. And he is basically going to be the Fiend, but in a skirt. And he is going to be the new addition to the women's roster. Because you can't be the Fiend. WWE own that. So you've got to do something different. So he's going to be the Fiendette. And it's still the same good Fiend goodness. Same mask. It's just that it's got a bow on it now. And lipstick. It's got lipstick, mascara, eyeliner, and he wears a bow like Minnie Mouse. But other than that, it's exactly the same. Oh, and he wears a skirt. But other than that, it's exactly the same. And now he's called the Fiendette. Yep. It won't be, but imagine if it was AJ Lee. That would be sick. That would be sick. What do you think of FTR joining Wardlow? I wouldn't do it, to be honest. I think Wardlow needs to be a solo badass. He needs to be the Stone Cold, really, of this. I mean, they've got signs up saying that he's banned. So, you know, when he comes walking out, it's going to be kind of cool. Do you know what I mean? Like, he doesn't care. Does what he wants. Like, I don't think he needs people backing him up. I think Wardlow's the kind of person that, you know, should be on his own. Lone wolf. But I think if he had a relationship with FTR, that would be good. So, you know, if he's getting beaten up, then they could always come down to help him. But I don't need to see them, like, walking behind him during his matches or standing by his side when he's doing his promos. I kind of feel like have him on his own. But I think if there was an understanding so that, you know, if he's being beaten up by the Jericho Appreciation Society, well, FTR naturally would come down to help. I'd be down for that. I think a union of that sort works. Vice versa as well. So if FTR are in a bit of trouble, like Wardlow will come down and help them. But other than that, keep them separate. Who do you think makes better buttermilk pancakes? Big E, Kofi, or Woods? I would think Big E. I would think Big E because I think to get to the size that Big E is, nutrition is really important. And I've got to be thinking that he is He's probably experimented quite a bit with different things, and I would imagine that he makes a lot of protein-filled pancakes. So I would go Biggie. I mean, look, it could be Woods, it could be Kofi. But I know that if you're doing that kind of bodybuilding, really any kind of bodybuilding, nutrition is really important. Nice headlock by Cash. That body drop by Cash. Hello, Days and everyone. Hello, Lee. Hope you are well. This is only my second time watching... Oh, it's gone. AEW. I think it was probably only my second time watching AEW. All hail the Fiend, said Erase Your Mind. Sean said, Days, I 100% believe that Shane will come out while Seth is in the ring. Ask him for his opponent to be brought out. He will introduce his newest talent signing, and Seth's opponent will be Cody Rhodes. I can definitely see that. Yep, definitely. Lance said that's right. That is excellent pancake analysis. Well, listen, if you're not here for pancake analysis, then I don't know why you're here, to be honest. That is absolutely what we specialize in. I have some protein pancakes, actually. And I tried to make them the other day, and I absolutely botched it. I mean, first of all, me in a kitchen, I completely lost, right? But I made them, and it was going well, and I put the batter in and just doing it. And I flipped it, and that was all fine. And I cooked it, put it on the plate. It looked good. And then when I, cut into it, it was it didn't taste quite right. And I think it's because it was too thick. I think it was too thick. So I don't know if it was, properly, cooked all the way through. And I was I think definitely I should have made 2 thinner pancakes. That was my problem. I made one kind of chunky monkey. I made a chunky monkey. That's what I made. Rather than 2 thin Debbie's. I don't know. So, yeah, I botched it. I definitely botched it. Quite fancy. Now we're talking about pancakes. I really want some now. I could be sat here with a little stove, mixing my batter together. I could still watch the wrestling. I could be mixing my batter. I'd be right, match is still going on, guys. And we're just seeing Billy Gunn on the outside. Here's Wardlow. Wardlow's coming. He's dealing with some security. So Wardlow's on his way out. Look at that table with some bags of popcorn. Bit weird. It's not really how you sell popcorn, is it? But... Wardlow making his way out through the crowds. Yeah, I could be sat here doing that. That'd be not a problem at all. And then I could be enjoying some lovely pancakes. Another security guard gets beaten up. He is making a beeline for MJF. There's another security guard. He goes down. Yeah, now there's a number there now. There's about 6 to 8 security guards. Look at that. Look at that guy. There's a couple of guys there. That black guy in particular, he must be a wrestler. Look at that black guy. He's bigger than Wardlow. Who's the black guy? Did you see the black guy? It was absolutely flipping huge. Guy, if I'm Tony Khan, I'm hello, I'm Tony Khan. Have you ever thought about being a professional wrestler? You're bigger than one of our biggest superstars. Right, Wardlow has been led away. Here's FTR, 2, 3. FTR win. Are those the Oscar security guards? Yeah. Try putting pancake in a toaster. I don't think that would work at all. You can't do that. That's batter, isn't it? I'm talking about, like, I don't know. You could maybe buy some that you put in a toaster. I don't know. But this one, the one that I was doing was like where you make the batter and then you pour it in. You can pour that in a toaster. I might not know my way around a kitchen, but I know that much. So FTR and MJF are just having a little heated conversation. Right here, MJF says right here, look at this. Look at these two. Oh, it's all going wrong for the Pinnacle. Keith Lee and Powerhouse Hobbs. I am glad that FTR won, says Heather. A Moss to AEW convert. I know, yeah. Amazing. Pour it into a waffle maker. I have a waffle maker. Is that a good idea? Is that something I should do? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I get nervous with this stuff. I don't want to be going to all that effort to end up with another botched pancake. Or a botched waffle. You got to make it first and then toast it. Oh, God. I'm not Gordon Ramsay. Come on. I just want to eat. I don't want to do the making bit. Hate it. I hate that stuff. This is only my second time watching AEW. Who are some of the best wrestlers to watch out for, asks Freddie. Well, Freddie, I'm sure the community can tell you some of their favourites. But the honest answer would be just watch it. Just watch it and see who stands out to you. Because, we can go through a list of names of, good superstars. But, honestly, it's just better to watch it, innit? And make up your own mind as to who you like and who stands out for you. But I'm sure people in the chat can fire in some of their favourites. Some of their favourites. Jeremy said, can't take his Oscar. Harvey sexually assaulted many female Oscars and they didn't take his Oscar. If you think pancakes are better than waffles, then something is wrong with you. I never have either. Pancakes, I have them once a year during Pancake Day. We have a pancake day. I think everyone does, actually. If you celebrate Easter, then Shrove Tuesday, Pancake Day. I think that's a thing around the world, isn't it? So growing up, that was the only day a year I would have pancakes. That was it. But pancakes as a breakfast thing is just not a thing here. Like, in America, you have a stack of pancakes, don't you? Well, maybe not all of you, but here that's not a thing. You just don't have that. You have cereal, or on a Sunday morning, you might have a full English. It's been a while. I tell you, I'd love a full English. Oh, it's been a while. Baked beans, sausage, bacon, toast, black pudding, hash brown, fried tomato. Yes. Great for a hangover. I think it's the grease, but it's great for a hangover. Not a horrific. If you're horrifically, that kind of hangover where even if you see the food, you throw up. Nothing's great then. But if it's one of those hangovers where you're like, oh, my head, and you're just like, oh. But you could eat something, then a full English is great. I want that now. Miss Clown said, I'll make you some. might have to pop round. Have some sexy pancakes with Miss Clown One. Sexy cakes, that's what they are when you have them with Miss Clown One. Here is the Jericho Appreciation Society. You have a weird breakfast. That sounds nasty. What? Sausage, bacon, egg. Beans, toast. Fried tomato. Come on. Okay, so we are just seeing Jericho Appreciation Society. Someone in the chat said, "Is that a fat Nick Jackson?" I can't remember their names, but one of 2.0 does look like a fat book. He does look like a fat book. Yeah, they're doing the take a peek thing again. Bit soon to do it, to be honest. So they are behind the curtain, but to do it second week. Santana and Kingston, Ortiz, they were behind the curtain. They were always going to be behind a curtain. It was just when. My brother liked mayo on his pancakes. Your brother's weird. Have you ever had pancakes with cheese? No. On pancakes, I've had Nutella. I've had honey. I've had syrup. And that's it. Not all at the same time. But that is it. That is as adventurous that I've got. I've maybe dreamed of putting banana on one day. That's been a dream of mine. Kingston knocks out Jericho in the ring. Big boot. Santana lays down Garcia. Almost at the halfway point. There were earlier breaking news that Will Smith asked to leave the Oscars and he didn't. Was asked to leave and he didn't. They're reviewing disciplinary and they might take his Oscar away. He was asked to leave and he didn't. That's interesting. There has been criticism of how it was treated. Jericho up. This beatdown still going on. Nutella and banana is good, yeah. I know someone that puts ketchup on roast dinner. Wouldn't even be a friend. That would be enough to end a friendship for me. Strikes by Hager. Hager in there. Beating up Kingston. Jericho Appreciation Society are coming back into it. Yeah, the numbers have swung this around. Where our security that was just there, this is bad booking. If you get a deep fryer, make a pancake mix and deep fry them into pancake balls. Kingston getting walloped with the baseball bat. Yeah, they are just beating them down. Hence the words new, not no. Eggs, bacon, toast, grits, hash browns with either chocolate or white milk. Great breakfast. Beans on toast crosses a line for me. What do you mean? Beans on toast is the king. I mean, honestly, if beans on toast crosses a line for you, you're losing a lot of England there. Because both of those are staple ingredients for an English breakfast. I mean, if you've got an English breakfast, who's not putting like the egg, the bacon, the beans onto the toast? I mean, yeah, sure. I've had an English breakfast where I've ate the toast separately. Of course, who hasn't? We've all had days like that. But a lot of the time, you're getting your toast, you're getting some beans, you're putting them on, you're building, you're constructing. Part of the fun. What am I going to make? Do I want my egg on there? I don't know. I might do. Do I want the sausage on there? Sure. The bacon. Oh, maybe I go all three. Maybe I go bacon, sausage, beans, egg. I chuck it all on. Depends how much toast I'm playing with. If I've just got a little foldy bit, can't do much with that. If I've got a couple of slices... Oh, beans on toast is it's a comfort food for me. That will be a go-to for the rest of my life. I can see myself being flipping 95 and having beans on toast. Right, that I think was a bit overly long. That beatdown, it just seemed to keep going on for evs. But here's Jade Cargill. She looks great. Lever Bates. Jay Cargill says no. Marina Shafir. I'll take on this Marina Shafir girl. Cargill gonna lose now. Cargill should probably lose that. It'll be hard, like maybe lose by DQ so the title doesn't change hands or something. Marina Shafir girl. Yeah, I like it. I like Marina Shafir. I was a fan of her when she was in NXT. Right. Danielson versus... Yeah, now, why wasn't he out there with Mox? This suggests favoritism to me. Not a good sign for the Blackpool Combat Club that Regal was out there now with Danielson, but wasn't out there with Moxley. Wheeler Yuta. Let's see if young Wheeler here can do the same and overcome the odds. Yeah, I like this. I'm looking forward to this. Regal said he's very interested in young Wheeler. He was going to have a go at me, and I like that. Nice forearm strike there by Danielson. Does he not know his name? He said, "Can you stop me if I fawn over Danielson a bit too much, please, man in a mask?" My name is Excalibur, by the way. Man in a Mask. The autobiography of Excalibur. Right, we've got a bridge as Danielson's trying to break that bridge, but he does manage to get it down, but Yuta pops back up again. Hammering away, and Yuta gets up. Nice, flips Danielson over. Again, looking for an armbar, trying for the armbar, but can't get it. That was nice. Love how he got into that, Danielson, as Yuta gets over to the ropes and breaks them apart. Both guys back up to their feet. This is good. This is really good. Two guys battling to prove they're the better guy. Regal said, I don't know, this is a wise move, smiling in the face of the dragon. Against the ropes goes Danielson. Nice, shoulder tackle by Danielson. Yuta goes down. Kicks coming in by Danielson. Against the ropes goes Danielson. Drop kick by Yuta. Still to come, we've got the mystery person taking on the bunny. We are into the final hour. We're going to hear from Thunder Rosa as well. Darby Allin against Andrade El Idolo. Nice bridge. It's not a figure four, though, is it? Danielson over in the corner. Yuta charges over. Gets put to the outside. Yuta climbing up top. Kick to the midsection by Danielson. That didn't look like a figure four just. But maybe it was a variation of a figure four. I was made fun of because in Connecticut we call subs grinders. Do you want to go get a grinder? Never heard of it. Never heard of a grinder. Danielson, wax off, says Larry. AEW needs Taka Michinoku. I say Mox and Brian are tweeners, says channel name. Daniel looks more like a chipmunk than a dragon. Who is the best left back in the world? Robertson, Jordi Alba, Cancelo. Also, who would you say are the better team football-wise, Scotland or Wales? And don't be biased. I would say Wales are the better team because they did better at the Euros. They got out their group. They did get eliminated by Denmark, but Scotland didn't get out of their group at the Euros. Both teams now are, I mean, Wales have got through to the final. You know, Scotland have still got to beat Ukraine. And then we'll find out, won't we? If Scotland beat Ukraine, then we'll find out who's the better team out of Scotland, Wales. But I do think that Bale is, I mean, very significant. Maybe if you take Bale, if Bale gets injured, then maybe it's Scotland. But I think Bale might just tip it over to Wales's direction. But I think it'll be a close game. I don't think there's much in it. I think, you know, you went through that list of players and it's a good list. I mean, Scotland seems to be in a decent place at the moment. So, as I said, it's just a shame that both Wales and Scotland can't go through. Best left back in the world. Don't know, because I just keep seeing, I mean, like, Robertson's got to be in the conversation. Cancelo might be my pick. But Spinazzola was amazing at the Euros. So Spinazzola might also... But he's been injured ever since, so he might not count. But Spinazzola was seemingly the best left-back at the Euros. But if I had to pick one, I would probably go with Cancelo. But Robertson would be very close as well. Big heavy chops coming in by Danielson. Chops coming back by Yuta. Zoom said, something soft and pillowy about AEW. It puts me to sleep. I think it's JR and Shivani. Right, we are back. We were just at commercial break. Mike says Cancelo right now. Yeah, we are seeing some big chops being exchanged between these two. Have you seen the Batman film? No. I would watch it. It sounds like my kind of thing. But going to the cinema is not my kind of thing. I'd rarely go to cinema. So, I mean, maybe if I was living close to town. I mean, I live about half an hour away from a cinema. A half an hour drive away. So, maybe if it was just down the roads, then I would be tempted to go. But to get into Telford is a bit of a nightmare. Well, it's not a nightmare, but it's about half an hour drive and I just can't be bothered. 1, 2, kick out by Yuta. Bail this, bail that. One player does not make a team. No, but one player can win you a game. The first stage leak has surfaced. I've tagged you. Put underneath the tweet in replies just in case you don't want to see it when surfing the tweets. I'll have a look at it. I won't show it in case people don't want it ruined. Might be. Looks similar to a few concepts. Oh, I don't know. I don't know where it is. Can't really make out much. Okay. Right, they're into this match. I've said before, I think that I was into this, and then it went to commercial break, but it's still on for me. And when it was at commercial break, it really lost its momentum. Danielson with a knee strike. I still think it's been a very good match, though, but I'm just not like, oh my god, you know, this is awesome. I'm not at that point. Spat in the face there by Danielson. He's kicking away at Yuta. Looking for a pile driver, and he hits it. Yuta's out. And there we go, it's done. But definitely is an interesting setup if it is true. I've not found a movie in a while that's worth going to the cinema for. I think Batman could be for me. I mean, it's if I lived close and I could get to a cinema easily, I would probably be tempted to go. Because I've always enjoyed Batman films. I love the Joker. I'm hearing great stuff about this one. I think it would be. I think I would go to this one, but half an hour drive away, just to go to a cinema and watch a film when I ain't got much time anyway. Just not happening. I definitely want to go and see the Walking Dead films when they come out, but I don't even know when that'll be. It'll be next year, maybe sometime. That was a borderline 5-star match, says Joel. Eric said, are there any banned moves in AEW, like the pile driver in WWE? I don't know. I mean, we tend to see everything. I can't think what would be banned. Unless something's been made public that you can't do it. But we see brain busters, pile drivers, vertebreakers. I mean, we tend to see. I can't really think of much that we don't see. Right, this is going to be the title celebration. Undisputed Elite. The Elite. The Undisputed Elite. Making their way down. I tell you, this woman's got to be a pretty big deal. They're saving it for late in the show. So Adam Cole has covered up the Hangman nameplate with some stickers. He's got that championship. And there's Red Dragon. They've got the AEW Tag Team Championships. I watched the Sting debut after you left, and it was epic. Yeah, man. I know. It's so good. It's such a great moment. Done to perfection. Right, there's a box in the ring that says party supplies. So, bringing the box into the middle. It says top secret party supplies. There's some balloons. 5 balloons come out of the box. Great job. Yeah. Great job. Who writes party supplies on a party supplies box? That's true. 5 balloons. Days, who would you book to be the champion AEW? I would book Danielson. He's the best. I think you always put the belt on your best. So I would go with Danielson. And I think that would legitimize Blackpool Combat Club even more. Because he'd be the champ, wouldn't he? You could have some interesting feuds. And I know it's like the really boring, obvious answer. But, you know, some people might say CM Punk. Some people might say Adam Cole. Some people might say Keith Lee. Some people might go with Wardlow. And I do think Wardlow should get it at one point. But I would probably do Danielson first. Right, Adam Cole, baby. Those are the same boxes from under the Hardy table spot last week, says Unbroken. I think I heard Regal call Excalibur Nacho Libre. He called him Man in a Mask. I don't know. Does he not like him or something? Why didn't he just call him Excalibur? What? Why is he sat down? What's happening? What you're looking at is the 3 baddest dudes Why did Kyle O'Reilly just sit down and say he had some bad champagne out back or something? Right, here's Hangman. Here's Hangman. Was that a botch? I don't know. It was a bit... it was dull. I know that much. Here is a Tesla with some horns on the front. It's a horny Tesla. Ooh, did he just catch his arm on the horns? Hangman getting into the ring and beats up Red Dragon. Down goes Adam Cole. Against the ropes. Over the top. Big boot by Hangman. Lights go out. House of Black will appear. I think Cole botched his line. Perhaps he has had a bit too much champagne backstage. Buckshot. As Adam Cole is pulled out of the ring. The belts have been left in the ring, though, so here's Jurassic Express. They attack from behind. Christian hurling Adam Cole. Christian's been kind of relegated, hasn't he? Thought Christian might have been used different to how he has. Jennifer, hello. Hope you are well. In comparison, Randy went all out for his celebration. Way to watch the budget, baby. Very true. Hope you are well, Jennifer. So there we go. They've got their belts back. And up next, Thunder Rosa. Thunder Rosa coming up next. We're getting through this show. In all fairness, the show's going by quite quick. And it's not a bad show at all. There's been some good stuff. I thought the Bryan Danielson Utah match was good. And there's been some all right segments. Yeah, it's been all right. Christian is the new Marko Stunt. Days ever had mincemeat, beans, and salsa sandwich? Nope. No, that sounds awful. Mincemeat, beans. Your beans are different to our beans. Yours are like, is it refined beans or something? We have baked beans in a tomato sauce. So, in my mind, like mincemeat, baked beans, and salsa on a sandwich sounds horrific. Moldy said that was a dual segment. Has any championship changed hands on Rampage? I want to say the TNT title. No. TNA title, the Impact title. I think, did that change hands? Went from Kenny to Christian. There's probably others as well. I'm struggling to stay awake. I'm going to go off to bed, says Grant. Grant, good night. Paige should have come out in JBL's limo, says Larry. Only thing I've not liked is Moxley without Danielson and Regal, says Davids. Thunder Rosa, who remembers when Thunder Rosa came out to the drums? Yeah, that was cool, wasn't it? That was cool. No one else had entrance music apart from her, and she used to come out to, like, drums. I also thought that her, like, black and yellow attire, she's gone very, like, Tex-Mex. She's gone very Tex-Mex. And maybe she's always been Tex-Mex. But when she was first in NWA, she had something a bit more... It felt darker. It felt more like Papa Shango type vibe. She came out to drums and she wore, like, black and yellow ring gear that looked really classy. She was great. She was great. But She, I think, was quite Tex-Mex on the indie scene, and I think they've made her go quite Tex-Mex in AEW. But I wish she would go back to like the drums and go back to a bit more mystery. I think that was when I was like really into what she was doing. Yeah, I thought that was more engaging. Vape Ross Vape said, Dragon versus you might be the best match of the week. Thunder Rose, is she going to get interrupted again? They did this last week when she came out and spoke, and then she was beaten up by Nyla Rose. It's Thunder Rosa. The floor is yours. I am your new women's world champion. I fought and clawed my way to the top to be the face in this division. She said she wants to be the face of all women's wrestling. Pillars get knocked down, but foundations remain standing. Someone in the chat says foundations can be knocked down as well. Thunder testify, you get it, girl, said Heather. Whoever beats Thunder for the title, their first feud will be Nyla Rose. Mexico are winning if there are any Mexico fans in here tonight. There we go. So she wasn't jumped this week. I love Thunder Rosa's delivery on the mic, says Austin. Have Jade Cargill be a 2-belt champion. Sasha versus Thunder would be a classic, says Kevin. Days, if Christian stayed in WWE, he and Edge would have been tag champs again. They could have, yeah. Yeah, I mean, tag division's not really that exciting, is it? So, Edge and Christian could have done it. FTR. FTR in the books too. FTR said, I'm tired of waiting. So they issued the challenge to the Bucks. Right, is it Bunny now? No, it's Andrade now. No, it's Bunny now. Right, here we go then. Here we go. Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Na 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 na. Who's it gonna be? Gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Na 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 na. Right, Bunny in the ring. Oh, it is Tony Storm. It is Tony Storm. Tony Storm has left WWE. And she is all elite. Toni Storm is all elite. Toni Storm making her AEW debut. And you know what? Tony Khan has jumped onto Twitter 30 seconds ago and said it's Toni Storm. I can only presume that I'm a little bit behind. I don't know, unless he's ruined it. But it says 30-odd seconds ago, he sent a message out saying it's Toni Storm. So Toni Storm comes walking out. So, I mean, that's good signing, man. That's good signing. That is one that is definitely going to please a lot of people. They said that they were interested in signing her, but I didn't know that interest had turned into a concrete offer and a flipping signing. Here we go. Let's get this on screen. I've got an image. An image. So, massive news coming out of AEW Dynamite. Toni Storm has just come walking out. You can see the image on screen. Toni Storm looking great. And obviously, a lot of buzz around Toni Storm because she announced that she's got her OnlyFans account. And I think, like, social media seemed to go crazy over that. She, of course, was with WWE, walking out around Christmas time. Just up and left. They didn't even know where she'd gone. But there was talk that she'd got, like, burnt out. And I'm sure that, Tony's had a conversation with her to see, like, if she's in a good place. So, yeah, she's clearly in a great place. She's in AEW. If you're not going to be in WWE, this is probably the best place to be. The women's division in AEW needed a bit of a lift, needed a bit of a boost. It's just gone and got it. Because Toni Storm is legit. She is a great competitor. She was great in NXT UK. She had a little run in NXT. She got to the main roster. She competed against the likes of Charlotte Flair. And as we said, Christmas time, she got burnt out and ended up leaving. But here she is, taking on the Bunny in the Owen Hart Foundation tournament first round. And the big news, Toni Storm is all elite. Yeah, let me know what you think. Let me know what you think about that. She changed her mind. I don't know that she ever changed her mind. I don't know that she needed to change her mind. I think it was just a case that she felt burnt out before. And as we said, I think that I don't think she ever fell out of love with wrestling or anything. I just think that she was really struggling on the road. Maybe she wasn't in a great place mentally at the time. Yeah, she just kind of up and left. So we are underway with this match, and we are just seeing the Bunny beating up Toni Storm outside the ring. Bunny getting back into the ring. I'm surprised this isn't a squash, to be honest. I'm surprised Toni Storm hasn't just come down and battered her and gone again, but they're making it competitive. I really thought it was going to be Mia Yim. I was pretty confident on that. I just thought, like, you've signed Keith Lee. Getting Mia Yim would be a no-brainer. So Toni Storm is a surprise to me. But as I said, I had seen those reports that she was wanted by them and they were looking to bring her in. So I'd seen those reports. Toni Storm over in the corner, kick to the midsection. I heard Toni got someone fired when she was backstage in AEW a couple of weeks ago. Of course, Toni will beat Bunny. Only problem is she has to bury Bunny. She doesn't need to wrestle without rumours of how much she's making on OnlyFans. Are we about to see UFC 274 unboxing on May 7th or no? Toni Storm. Are you going to see UFC 274? Yes. Unboxing? Don't know. No Tony Storm in AEW. I haven't seen Tony Storm for a while. Yeah, he's in. She's in. Let's hope she doesn't get exhausted again. Yeah, absolutely. I really like Tony Storm, and it was a real shame to see her leaving WWE, because it felt like, I mean, they weren't necessarily burying her. She was in like a title match with Charlotte. I mean, you couldn't really push her much more than that, than putting her up against Charlotte for the belt. So it was a real shame. But I don't know. I mean, maybe there was some stuff going on behind the scenes. I mean, clearly she wasn't settled and happy, and I think, like, you know, being on the road seemed to exhaust her. But that will be something, as I said, that Tony, I'm sure, has spoke to her about, and it feels reassured that she can cope with it this time. Right, we're still going with this match. I'm shocked it's like taking so long. Against the ropes goes the Bunny. I don't know if we're at commercial break, but it's gone very quiet and very flat. Are we at commercial break? I mean, right now I've got both women just lying in the ring, and as I said, okay, the way they're talking, I think we are still live. It's not how I would bring Tony Storm in, to be honest. I mean, like, I don't feel like the Bunny is kind of really seen as a big star. So this would be a match that I really would have imagined Tony Storm would have just won by squash. Against the ropes goes Bunny. Big strike there by Tony Storm. Tony knocking the Bunny down. Kick by the Bunny. Headbutt by Tony Storm. Up next, we've got Darby Allin against Andrade. So that's going to be our main event with about 25 minutes to go. Man United fans said, what channel is AEW on? I'm watching it on Fight. In America, it's on TBS. So that's where you need to go if you want to watch it in the US. Anywhere else, I'm not sure. I think it's in different places around the world. The crowd are already mild for Tony. Yeah. I hate when AEW hires former WWE talent. Alex said $19.99 a month. That's $19.98 more than it will cost for an episode of Barbie. What's $19.99 a month? Are you ready for the most stupendous event of all time? I think I am, mate. Yeah, I think I am. Against the ropes goes the Bunny. Yeah, the crowd are quiet here. The crowd have been all right in places, but they're a bit quiet here. Super kick. Tony goes down. And shoulder up. Bunny looking to put Tony Storm away. German suplex. Storm. That wasn't a Storm Zero. That wasn't a Storm Zero, was it? Tony Storm gets the win. Okay, so Tony Storm victorious. Bad booking has killed this crowd. AEW expect people to know who Toni Storm is. Doesn't give a crowd a reason to get behind her. 90% of WWE superstars are former wrestlers of other companies. Why ex-WWE means anything baffles me, says Matt. Backstage with Nyla Rose and Vicky. The bunny is the most unathletic woman that can kind of wrestle, says Brando. James said Toni Storm will be on Dark and Elevation in a few weeks. It's just another Ruby Soho. I don't know what to make of Nyla Rose, says Fit. Okay. The men's qualifying begins next week, and the women's tournament continues. Next week, we've got a tables match between the Butcher and the Blade and the Hardys. Yeah, that was great, that was. Him jumping off, that was great. So, tables match, Butcher and Blade against the Hardys. On Rampage, Young Bucks take on Top Flight. Also on Rampage, House of Black takes on Fuego del... Oh my god, I can't even read it. Jamie Hayter against Sky Blue. It's too fast. You can't see it. Some of this is like... Darby Allin against Andrade El Idolo. Coming up next. Bring back Miro. Another former WWE star winning over someone not from WWE. That's all this show has been tonight, says Nick. Sean, shout out to you. Nyla sounds like a man, says Boomers TV. Picture to picture, yeah. Alex, hello, said Toni Storm deserved that. She looks so happy to wrestle, and I am happy for her. Rotem says, I've lost a lot of respect for Toni. She is still hot, though. Toni to AEW is that she's a traitor. She will be used the same way as Brian Cage and a snake. Jake the Snake, is it, you mean? Who? What is considered the best ever near fall in your opinion? Also, what is the first great near fall you remember seeing? Can't remember the first. I don't remember near falls being much of a thing when I was young, to be honest. I mean, maybe they were, but just can't remember. And certainly not the kind of level of false finishes we see now. I can't remember if there was one in Hogan Warrior. There might have been. I think one of the first I might remember seeing is where Warrior pins Hogan and Hogan kicks out, because WrestleMania 6 was one of the first. It would have been a Hogan, you know, where Hogan's down, he kicks out, and then does that kind of a thing where he shakes his head and then starts hulking up. I remember the Warrior doing that to Hogan and Hogan hulking up on the Warrior. That might have been one of the first. Almost certainly it would have been a Hogan where he hulks up and kicks out a 2 and then hulks up. But the best, I think, would have been during Undertaker and Shawn. So I think the best ever kick out is Undertaker, WrestleMania 28, end of an era. It's where Shawn is the guest ref, and it's the streak on the line, and he gets hit with a super kick. All of a sudden, Shawn Michaels just turns on him. Like, you're like, oh, is Shawn going to call it down the middle? Is he going to call it down the middle? And he does, in all fairness, he does a pretty good job up until a point where he super kicks Undertaker. Undertaker doesn't go down. I think Triple H grabs him, pedigrees him straight away, And, I mean, that's it, innit? I mean, that is it. That's going to be the end of the streak because he's just took a Shawn Michaels super kick, followed by a Triple H pedigree. 1, 2, and he kicks out. And then you get Shawn Michaels face in the corner where he can't believe even that is not enough to put The Undertaker away. That to me is the best close fall ever. I flipping love that. Love that. So yeah, I've got that one as the best. Has to be Undertaker kicking out from the Michaels super kick. I agree, Lee. I agree. Right, let's go at Andrade versus Darby Allin. Lee said great minds. Absolutely. Absolute. I really want to see Miro versus Andrade. Richie, hello. Hello. WrestleMania 6 was the first one I watched at home. Some of the magic died then. Oh. You see, that was different for me because I watched it on TV, but because I was just getting a videotape once in a while, any WWE videotape I could get my hands on was flipping like gold to me. Loved it. I mean, like, I think it's different when you're young, innit? When you're young, they just can't do no wrong. Could have done anything. I think that when we see, like, every week we ask what's your scores and we get 10 out of 10s, I'm like, I was like that when I was a kid. Just can't do no wrong, can you? I loved it. It was brilliant. Couldn't have been any better. 10 out of 10. Everything was 10 out of 10 when I was young. WrestleMania 9, 10 out of 10. I mean, you look at WrestleMania 9 now, you go, oh. But at the time, 10 out of 10. 2 doinks. Hogan as champion, didn't see that coming. The Toga Party. Got to see, like, Razor Ramon, Undertaker against Giant Gonzalez. Came out on, like, Bobby Heenan. Came out on a camel. Undertaker's entrance was cool. 10 out of 10. Couldn't have done anything any better. And now you look back at WrestleMania 9, you go, but I flipping loved it. To be young. To be young. Rest with Andy said, imagine Becky's reaction watching that Undertaker. That's where she learnt it. She learnt her shocked expression from Shawn Michaels from that match. And the shocked guy. I think she learnt how to be shocked from the shocked guy from the end of the streak. Darby drives the skateboard into the back of Andrade. I think Andrade has the second best heel character to MJF in all of wrestling. Do you see about Velveteen Dream? He said that he beat the accusations against him and he's coming back to wrestling. He said he would come back to NXT. Yeah, I did see that, but he hasn't beaten these allegations. Like, I don't know where. He said he's beaten them, but how has he beaten them? Not seen any details about that. Darby's in the crowds. Gets picked up, carried over to the steps, and chucked on top of the steps. And Darby falls off the steps. Becky's reactions are why I can't warm to her character. I'm happy there's more wrestling to watch. Who cares if someone is ex-WWE? Where are they supposed to go? Yeah, I agree with that. I think that I agree. Like, where is Keith Lee meant to go? Like, is he meant to just now not have a job? And Toni Storm is someone that, she struggled with the schedule, whatever it was. I mean, she'd been with them in NXT, been with them in NXT UK. She went to the main roster. She was having matches with Charlotte. Whatever the reason, it wasn't working for her. She wasn't happy. So she walked away. I mean, Vince just fires people at the top of drop of a hat. I can't really blame Toni Storm for taking her own future into her own hands. I personally don't have any problem with it. You should make a video trying to guess wrestling theme songs. Boring. There's other people that can do that. It's probably TikTokers that can do that. AEW refs do need to be better about enforcing rules, says Brando. Toni Storm fears Nikita Lyons. Okay, we've got about 10 minutes left to go. Moment you're looking forward to the most at the Hall of Fame, obviously Take Up. I'm looking forward to Scott Steiner with a live mic. I'm looking forward to Undertaker. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Vince induct him. Actually, see what Vince has got to say. Picture in picture. James said, I love AEW. I wish they focused on themselves and didn't take shots at WWE. Other than that, they're doing amazing things. I hate wrestling and football. I'm waiting for Days to do a cooking channel. Yes. AEW have a few freaks and peaks. There was Sting during that long pre-match beatdown. Doesn't make any sense. Have you got any advice? I'm thinking of starting my own channel. Yeah, upload regular. If you can do it every day, then great. If not, then make sure you let people know when you upload so that they know when to be there. So make sure that you do it regular. And like your theme idea, you could do that. But really, it's just, try lots of different things, see what works for you, and upload on a regular basis. Watch Tony buy all the promotions so Hogan has got nowhere to go if he leaves WWE. I don't know if Hogan would go anywhere. I don't think Hogan's bothered. He's got his beach shop in and his bar. I think for him it's WWE or nothing now, really, at this stage. Isn't it a shame that he's ruined his legacy to the point where no one wants to see Hogan come into AEW? I don't even know if WWE fans are that bothered about Hogan. I've not heard anyone saying, I hope we see Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania 38. Hope we get Hogan at some point. Like, no one's really saying that. It's such a shame. If you think about how big he was. It's unfathomable. Darby is down. Scott Steiner versus Hogan is the real main event. Hogan got booed at WrestleMania 37. He did. Hogan who? Oh, Hulk Hogan. He was big. Hulkamania? Big in the 80s. I thought you watched wrestling, James. So there was a guy, it was called Hulk Hogan, and used to wear yellow and red a lot. Very, massive baby face, Mr. USA. Take your prayers, say your vitamins. Main evented WrestleMania 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, technically 9. I mean, I'm shocked you've never heard of him. Shocked. Came back as well. Went up against The Rock. Was in the end. You know the NWO. He was in the NWO. I mean, he did loads, but it's crazy that, as we said, you know, he's ruined his legacy to the point that no one wants to see him now. Code Red by Darby. Code Red by Darby. Hulk last year was about as good as it was going to get, even if he did get booed. WWE shouldn't try to trot him out again. I think Ric Flair is ruining his legacy. Hulk last year was about as good as it gets. Hogan and Edge were tag team champs. That's true. Right, Andrade is charging over. Crowd have been like quite quiet at times during this episode, but it's been a decent episode. Hogan ruined his legacy and also ruined his legs. Not much to go for the old man. Hulk Hogan's not his real name. It's Terry Bollea. Bollea. I don't know how you pronounce it, actually. Bollea. Strike slap by Darby Allin. Hogan was around before the internet. Oh, that's it. That'll be it. That'll be why no one's heard of him. Right, it's a slap fest. These two just wailing away at each other. He just brought from Vince the rights to the name. Did he? Hogan just brought the Hulk Hogan rights. Did he? Let's Killer, I hope you're enjoying it. PJ said, F Hulk Hogan. F him. Lance said, you're the man, never took Hogan for a Terry. Terry. Yep, Tez. Terry. It doesn't look, it would have been different. Right? Terry Hogan, if that had been his name. Terry Hogan. I can't imagine Terry Hogan main event in all them WrestleManias. Terry Hogan. Hey, I found out. Let me double check it, because I need to make sure that Did you know that Nicolas Cage's middle name is Kim? Nicolas Cage's middle name is Kim, right? And Richard Gere's middle name is Tiffany. Just talking about like weird names about how Hulk Hogan's called Terry. Richard Gere's middle name is Tiffany. Isn't that weird? And Nicolas Cage's middle name is Kim. Only found that out the other day. He went with Terry Hulk Hogan for a while, says John. I've never seen him as Terry Hulk Hogan. Was that in AWA? I haven't seen much of him from his first run. Oh my God, I would love that. Imagine if Mattel made a figure of Hulk Hogan when he was a heel in the first time he was in. Because he was in WWE in like the early 80s. And he had Classy Freddie Blassie as his manager and he was a heel. And he came down with a cape. Came down with a cape. They did make a Jax figure of that. They did make a Jax figure, but they've never made a... There he is. They've never made a Mattel. I'd love them to do a Mattel of that. Darby with a submission hold on Andrade. There he is. That's him with Classy Freddie Blassie and his cape. And that's him as a heel. That would have been in his first run with WWE. So that's him in his first run, and then he leaves and he goes to the AWA, and then they bring him back. Okay, we've got people running down here. Darby's going up. Darby with a crossbody to the outside, takes down a few people. Takes down Butcher and Blade, and Sting is down, and Darby jumping back into the ring against the ropes. Caught by Andrade, roll up. Picks up Darby and hurls him into the corner. Elliot low. 1, 2, 3. Andrade wins. Andrade wins. That's interesting. Incredible Thunder Lips Hogan. Hogan wore a cape. Yeah. In his first run. That crowd noise and explosiveness is like a drug to most wrestlers, and it's hard to let go. Right, there's Andrade standing tall. And that's going to be the end of the show. Let's get the poll up. Sting being beaten up. What do you score? Sting trying to fight back now. Down comes Private Party. Big cheer. I don't know who's coming down. It felt like someone was going to have to make a save. It is the Hardys. Hardys are coming down. So that makes sense. Don't it? Butcher and Blade are out there. Have you seen WWE Evil? Not yet. No, not yet. Joel said, these beatdowns need to stop. I can't stand how repetitive it is. Julie said Andrade needed that win. Is so much better than Darby Allin. Did anyone see the NXT TakeOver Philadelphia? Yeah, it's very good. Brenton said, I've tagged you in something. Hardy with a Swanton Bomb. Pretty moody Swanton Bomb as well. Oh, I've seen that. It's a thread about all of Hogan's lies. So, talking about how he was a pitcher and scouted by the New York Yankees and the Cincinnati Reds. Claimed that he was the first person to notice Kevin Owens' potential. Hogan starred in Mr. Nanny and Santa with Muscles. He claims that he rewrote both scripts entirely. Hogan said he used to fight Pride fighters in the 70s, but Pride was founded in 1997. Claimed he was the first to slam Andre, and that Andre weighed 600 pounds. Hogan also claimed he tore 18 muscles in his back slamming Andre. John Belushi died in 1982, but apparently, according to Hulkster, he parted with him in 1986. Told Taker that he had caused permanent damage to his neck by botching the tombstone, and Taker believed him for the better part of 2 years before finally seeing a tape of the match, which clearly showed that Hogan's head came nowhere near the chair. So, Undertaker, wow, that's it. That's an interesting one. So, Hogan told Undertaker that he botched the tombstone at Survivor Series, and Undertaker believed him for 2 years. Hulk Rules, an album released by Hogan. One of the most famous tracks is a tribute song. According to Hogan, he met a very ill Make-A-Wish kid in England and got him a ticket to SummerSlam to watch him wrestle in the main event, but Hogan wasn't at that SummerSlam. Hogan claimed he asked to join a startup company known as the UFC. While UFC wasn't as popular as it is today, Hogan said he would have joined because guys get beat up when the fight should be stopped. Wouldn't have joined because guys get beat up when the fight should be. I don't even understand that. While he was in WCW, Hogan said a pay-per-view match between him and Mike Tyson was supposed to happen. Hogan's excuse was that Tyson was too scared as to why it didn't. Oh, yes, I've heard this one. The George Foreman grill. Hogan claimed on an episode of Hogan Knows Best that the reason he didn't get the offer was because he was out picking up the kids from school. Otherwise, it would have been known as Hulk Hogan's grill. A Hulk Hogan grill, not the George Foreman grill. Hulk Hogan claimed back in the day that he wrestled 400 days in a year. He travelled so much that the time difference made 400 days possible because of how much he travelled and the different time zones. He wrestled 400 days in a year. In Hulk Hogan's autobiography, he made claims that Elvis was a huge Hogan fan. He did work in 77, but Elvis died in 77. Hogan claimed that both Metallica and the Rolling Stones wanted him as their bass player, but Metallica, remember Lars Ulrich, came to Hogan himself to ask him to play with the group. He claimed he'd been offered and turned down a Legends match at WrestleMania 22. When he ran for president, Leno asked Hogan about his platform. Hogan, oh my God, it still goes on. It's amazing. It's amazing. That is amazing. I haven't seen that thread, but I have seen a lot of those. I think they did an episode. Jim Cornette did an episode. I don't know, maybe Jim Cornette did it on that thread. But yeah, that's great. Yeah, Brenton, shout out to you. Appreciate you tagging me in that. That's funny. It's also known that Hogan created AEW. Have you seen a new Becky video? I've not seen a new Becky video. No. Hulk Hogan said he discovered America. Hogan created the internet. The only thing anyone learned from Hogan Knows Best is that Hogan does not know best. Indeedy. Right, we've had 140 odd votes. As soon as we get to about 150, we'll end our poll. I think this was all right. I thought this was all right. I would say that tonight's show is a 7.25 from me. 7.25. Thought there was some good stuff on it. I think, again, I keep coming back to the fact that when there's a commercial break, the wrestling really does die down, and I think that's continues to be a problem, but it's same old. We talk about it all the time, but I still think the Danielson match was enjoyable. I mean, I think the main event was all right. I think FTR match was all right. I think there was just a lot of all right. I think the Danielson match is the best thing tonight. Tony Storm was good. It's good to see Tony Storm on the show. Good to see the Danielson match. I'm into Blackpool Combat Club, of course. The Undisputed thing was a bit dull. I don't know. Didn't quite knock it out the park, but there was some good stuff on tonight. Fun fact, I didn't use Google for this fact because my mum adores Elvis and loves Elvis. So it's true that Elvis died on August 16th due to a cardiac arrest. Right, let's end the poll. You keep saying about breaks as if WWE doesn't have them. Yes, but WWE doesn't have these breaks because I watch on Fight TV, and Fight TV does not stop showing you what happens when you go to a break. So when WWE go to a break, you watch adverts. When AEW go to a break, if you're watching on Fight TV, you don't get the adverts. I wish I did. You still see the action, and the action dies. It dies. Any momentum that is built up any moments that you're like, wow, this is a really good match, and then you go to commercial break, you come back, and you're still, okay, this match is good. For me, I have to watch 2 minutes of them lying in the ring, not doing anything. The whole momentum of the match dies. It goes away. And so, like, when you come back, you're in a different place to where I am. Because I'm watching it, I'm like, it's not doing anything. And the crowd's really quiet. The crowd go dead. It's like someone just flipping turns it off. Like, the crowd go quiet. They're either both lying down on the mat, or they'll be over in the corner, or there'll be a rest hold, and they'll just hold it for ages. And just the whole momentum of the match dies. It's a problem. I think it's a real problem. It has ruined a couple of matches for me. Quite a few matches, actually. Most notably, probably the Hangman Danielson first match was really soured by it. And this one, I mean, like, there was people in the chat going, this is incredible. It's 5 out of 5. For me, I mean, maybe if I didn't watch during commercials, but when you're just watching, like, you know, them not doing anything and the crowd go quiet, it kind of feels like the match has died. It really, that's the best way to sum it up. The match has died. The momentum is gone. The match is flat. It's gone dead. And then when you come back, yeah, it starts building up again, but it has to build up from the beginning again, really. So it's a real problem. I don't know why they can't just go out there and have a flipping match. And if you go to commercial break, well, then guess what? You miss it. But, you know, for anyone that's got Fight that still watches, or anyone that's there live, like, do you know what I mean? It's as if we don't matter. It's as if we just don't matter. We don't matter. It's all about you Americans, isn't it? And it's all about you lot and your adverts. So that's my point. But I can still appreciate that it was, just as I can appreciate the first Danielson Hangman match was very good. I can still appreciate that this match was very good as well. I just can't give it like 5 stars and stuff like that. For me, it's a lot more enjoyable watching AEW when it's a pay-per-view, because you don't get those kind of commercial interruptions. So, John said, I've said it before, but I hate it when Tony lies to us by saying you won't miss a thing when they go picture-in-picture to commercials and we miss things. James said, AEW has not been the same since Cody left. It doesn't feel right anymore. Right, let's wrap this up and see what the scores look like. What do you score AEW? 8 to 10, 38%. 7 to 7.75, 34%. 6 to 6.75, 14, and 5.75 are below 12. So, seems like people were between the 8 to 10 and the 7 to 7.5. So it seems like people enjoyed this week's episode, which is good. Master Chief says, AEW has been better since Cody left. John says, newsflash, we don't matter. They want us to watch the commercials and buy products. Fair point. Right, we're done. Awesome. Thanks a lot for watching. I honestly don't know what tomorrow's got in store. I don't know if we're doing anything tomorrow. I do know, though, that Friday's pretty stacked. So, Friday we've got the World Cup draw in the daytime. We've got SmackDown. We've got Hall of Fame, and then obviously we've got Stand and Deliver and WrestleMania, so all kicks off on Friday. So there might not be anything tomorrow because it might be the calm before the storm. Appreciate the support. Hope you enjoyed the show, and I will see you again next time. Bye for now.